Thank you so much for listening to the Cooligans. In the first segment, we talk about so much. We talk about Tinder and NYCFC. What's happening? Also, listen to our commercials. We can help you out with that. We also talk about DC United, baby. It's worth a lot more than you expected. It's worth more than that Newcastle you love so much. And we also talk about CCL.
And in the second segment, we got Daniel Got Hits. You got to swipe right on Daniel Got Hits. A soccer freestyler, a rapper. We're doing everything.
He got bars. He got skills.
Soccer gang is taking over the world.
Yeah, and in the third segment, we talk about all the rest of the games, who scored, who didn't. Also, if you want to score, listen to our new sponsors. That and more on this episode of the Cooligans!
Hi, I'm RJ Allen, and you're listening to the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby!
What's up?
Come on!
Hello! All right. That felt good. We're back together.
Finally.
Finally.
We
We
told both of our divorce lawyers, get out of here. We're going to make it work.
yes. And
I'm coming home from Ireland.
And it makes things more complicated because Michael Cohen is my divorce lawyer,
Yeah.
and he's a little tied up right now.
And actually, I don't have a lawyer. I just had him pay another person $130,000.
Getting topical very fast.
Topical, baby, right up front. That's what we do. Do we talk about soccer? Eventually, baby.
But first, we go into weird, gossipy politics.
Yeah, that's what we do, baby.
Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerrero.
And we are the Cooligans. We are stand-up comedians that host the funniest soccer podcast and also the
damn gulliest soccer podcast.
It is incredibly lit today. We're excited to be back in the studio. We're excited to be back.
I'm so happy to be here.
Hackensack Meridian Health Stage 17, crushing it on the OG Podcast Network.
What? We're above Madison Square Garden.
Above it.
We're all up in your grills, dog. we're on the train. We're coming to our studio in Midtown.
Wow, you really said it like riding the train to Midtown was like a luxurious thing.
Yo, baby, we just living that life of luxury on the train next to a couple people drooling on themselves right now.
Okay, I mean, don't be jealous. The haters already, they hear us flexing and they're like, oh, yo, the Cooligans are doing this and that, so I don't like them dudes.
Yeah, they take the train after rush hour so there's not as many masturbators on it. Yeah, that's right, baby.
What you know about that?
Right? We barely seeing dicks on the train, dog.
You know, we're just only seeing shaft, not even head.
That's it, yo. We don't even see the head, dog. Just a little unzip.
Well, sorry.
It got too ridiculous
It got too ridiculous, yeah. That's what happened.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, and I'm a giggler, so, you know, that's how it is. It's difficult for me to...
Nothing tougher than a giggler right there.
I'm a Jimmy Fallon giggler. I went to the Jimmy Fallon School of Improvising.
Yeah, we're just laughing, tell everyone they're amazing. Oh, so good.
This is great, yeah. All right. Please, I'd love to be on the Tonight Show one day. How about Cardi B on the Tonight Show, co-hosting the Tonight Show?
Cardi B doing it for 1, Latinos.
That's
2,
right,
the
Dominicans.
3, Dominicans specifically. 4, let's not forget she part Trini. Okay,
That's right.
She got a little Trinidad in there. 5, strippers. 6, chicks who don't take no shit. 7, chicks who will put it all out there no matter what, even if you didn't ask her that question.
That's right. And this is like, and it's all relative, right? Because we do have a rapper on the show today.
That's right, we do.
We got Daniel Got Hits is coming up.
So that
later
means we got 2 rappers because you know I got bars. I got no bars. I got 0 bars.
We're gonna have a freestyle
yeah,
battle.
please do not. It's just gonna be trash. I got
Daniel
0
Got Hits,
bars.
Daniel Got Hits is a soccer freestyler and also a rapper.
So he's freestyling with his feet, with his mouth. He's doing it all.
Exactly. So this is a hot show. If this is your first time listening, this is the right one to listen to. So
buckle the hell up.
There's so much going on. We have to start. At least say we have to welcome back our sponsor, SeatGeek.
Huh?
Oh my, unbelievable!
Sponsors are back, baby.
They're back.
You couldn't be gone for too long, you know.
You know, they were gone for a while. They were like, oh, you know what? Something's just missing from my life.
I got an itch.
But SeatGeek is sponsoring the show again, and like always, make sure you download the SeatGeek app and make sure you use the promo code Cooligans, and you get $20 off your first order.
Yes, son.
Do that. All right. So look, Where do we start? Welcome back. You were in Ireland. We did it, the episode that we did last week. You were it was remote again, even though it didn't sound because our technical abilities are just
we've got technology,
technology, as Ali G would say.
Yeah, we got so much technology that people ask us how we do it, and we give you the honest answer: we don't know. But we sounded mad crispy. We sounded like we were next to each other.
Exactly. Yeah, we were like bedside. We were.
What are you doing? Not much. We sounded like we were on Platano phones right next to each other.
We should start with that because last week we were so the game between Orlando and the Red Bulls.
Right before we start this.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
I'm not going to bring this up, but I'll bring that up in a second.
Yeah.
But when I was in Ireland, I got to meet Sean McGrinder, aka MLS Ireland.
That's right.
And I've never experienced talking to someone from a completely different. I mean, we spoke to some people from like Canada and stuff, but someone from like an entire other continent who listens to our stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then having him ask us, "Why do you use so much Dominican slang?" And it was like an honest and very nice question. He was like, "I know you guys use it a lot. Sometimes it's a bit like I can't imagine for someone who
called him a racist right to his face, right?
Listen up!
How dare you? This xenophobia that's going across the European Union is getting out of hand.
This is why you're all out of Europe." But just to hear someone from North Ireland explain to me how difficult it is to listen to the podcast. And I know right now, SOCL, at Just Andrew now, is probably sitting there going, "I've tweeted this to you many times."
We put this in the suggestion box, and there's been no update or change.
Again, the suggestion box is a shredder. So, you're making confetti is all you're doing. I never realized, having been in Ireland, this is my second time, Dominican is so far gone.
Oh, no, that is...
so far gone. It's so many layers beyond what they've experienced, even for Latinos.
Yeah, when I was in Ireland and I was explaining where my family was from, I mean, it's like...
You could have said Narnia.
I mean, it is like a robot that's malfunctioning, as soon as they hear it. They're just like, what is that?
And they start to think like, have I ever wanted to go there on vacation? Like, that's the closest
sure.
that I could get them to sort of accept that it was a country. And they're like, and then Sean was like, "You're not Dominican though, right?" And I was like, no, I'm Cuban and Uruguayan. And he was like, "So why do you know so much Dominican?" I was like, "In New York, there's a lot of them." I was like...
They're all over the place. They're scattering all over.
There's more Dominicans in New York City than there are Irish people in Ireland.
Sure, there's more Dominicans in New York City, I believe, than Dominicans in Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Right? It's like fairly close.
Yeah, it's a problem is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, it's an infestation is what we're saying.
Yeah. I mean, if you looked at it from like an airplane or something, you'd be like, this seems like an amoeba taking over the city.
No,
so explaining to someone who's Irish or North Irish, I don't know if they still consider themselves just Irish, Dominican, I'm like, there's a lot of them. So I'm like, for us, it makes sense. I can understand. I go, to some degree, you're kind of just listening to us ramble, and it's your fault. You know what I mean?
No, I think at least we're kind of exposing people from different parts of the world, especially soccer fans from different parts of the world, because there's not many people who even kind of talk like us that are like even in New York that also talk like us and also love soccer.
Yeah, we're like the Venn diagram. It's a very very small middle, and that's just us.
It is a Platano.
Yeah, it is a very small crescent moon, if you will.
Okay, so look, when we say, I hope you know what a Platano is when we say that to begin with.
I don't want to sit here and start to explain everything. But Plátanos are
Dominic-splain?
Yeah.
Let me Dominic-splain you because...
Dominic-Republic-splain. Santiago-splain. It's an unripened banana, but it is something that is associated. So at one point, sort of like a slur against Dominicans, or certainly I used it that way. But
now we've taken it back. That's our word.
Yeah,
dog.
no, you guys have accepted it full force. It's become sort of a symbol of like, especially with sports and Dominicans, it's become a symbol of the Dominican Republic. Like they had inflatable plátanos for like the World Baseball,
World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, the World Baseball Games or Classic, whatever. So it's become a thing. And at an Orlando City game, it made. And by the way, They've played pretty good since this happened.
Okay. Post Platano phone, the results have been in.
Can we just say Platano phone maybe got something to do with it? I know, people are saying that maybe Jason Christ is on the hot seat. Son, you might want to surround yourself with Platano phones.
Well, that hot seat has some maduros on it because it is.
I hear some sizzling because maduros are being made as we speak. We got some sweet plantains coming. Table number 4.
So if you didn't see this, this was the game against in Orlando City Stadium between Orlando City and the Red Bulls. It's 2 weeks ago. We forgot to talk about this because we were talking about Ireland till that much.
Which is the Platano Derby, right? If you're gonna have New York Red Bulls versus Orlando.
Yeah, this is clear. All right. So look. So during the game, I forgot exactly what moment. It was in the first half. There was either I don't even think it was a goal. It was just like
it was the camera went into the crowd and these two dudes came prepared.
Absolutely prepared.
They were only prepared for a close up. There's nothing huge about what they were doing.
This seemed it was so well done. I thought it was rehearsed.
I thought they hired actors. Orlando City went out and hired actors.
So the camera got on them and they each pull out 2 Platanos. And there was like a string connecting.
There was like a string connecting them, and they were like, "Come on, baby!" The one guy's yelling, and the other dude pulls the antenna out of the top, like a functioning antenna in the Platano.
Like they ripped it off of a car and they just extended it out. It was a long antenna.
The old cell phones, or remember the old home phones that you would have to pull the antenna up as part of answering the phone, or else it would. That's literally out of a plantain, out of a unripened banana. He pulled, and they were both like, "Come on, baby," and I was just they were just like feeling it. I lost it when I saw him pull the antenna out. Lost it.
It was beautiful. It reminded me of us a little bit because on FIFA the News, because we do Xbox phone.
Yeah.
And we never know. We each have a different style of holding the phone.
Yeah. I do it the right way. You do it the wrong way.
But this was a first, unprecedented, and one of those things that where it really feels like a lot of times people complain about where American soccer culture is and the fandom and so cringe.
Yeah.
Every chant is dude, this was just like, yo, this is ours.
And also, none of y'all got this.
None of y'all got
None of y'all are doing anything close to this.
Yo, if I see someone at Burnley doing Platano, I'm like, yo, why you biting our style, dog?
Son, I cringe right now.
Very cringe. You even know what that is.
And you know they would be holding it wrong. You know they would be holding it wrong.
Unreal. So this was incredible. If you didn't see it, we posted it on Twitter. We'll probably post it on Instagram again. Make sure you follow us at Soccer Cooligans. But this was.
And if the 2 guys doing this listen to the show, please let us know. Email us.
If you know the 2 guys who listen, please hit them up. We would love to talk to them.
That would be absolutely amazing. I think. They are, everybody talks about what the clubs that are doing great things are doing, right? Atlanta United and LAFC up until Zlatan and all these other things, right? No one's talking about how the fans are advancing the game, right? A lot of light has been shined on the incredible culture in Atlanta, you know what I mean? And some of the things that have been happening there, some of what the black culture is doing. Shouts to Copa 90, I saw that. They did a great job with that.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. Nobody's talking about Platano phone besides us. And that is advancing the game way further than any of you will give it credit for.
That is true. I think a lot of people saw that, and there was. I love that. Like at Total MLS had the GIF, and they.
He was like, we don't. He's like, I don't know.
I don't know what this is, but I'm just gonna post it. It's like, bro, why don't you know what it is?
Well, you know now.
You know now.
And thank you. Shouts to Ariel for posting it and being like, this is amazing, or whatever she put. Because we were like, okay, somebody gets it.
Exactly. Ariel Castillo's looking out for, for the Latinos.
She keeps it gully for the Latinos, man.
So, yeah.
She's doing a lot because people are hitting her up like, yo, why don't you institute promotion relegation? Yo, when is Zlatan coming? She apparently does a lot, and she reps heavy for the Latino culture. I mean, what more can she do? I don't know. We're about to find out.
There is a lot of pressure on her to put stuff on Snapchat.
Yeah, IT.
And also reinvent American soccer.
Yeah.
Just both of those things are part of her job description.
People are emailing her, could you talk to Robert Kraft about investing in the team? Sure. Sure. I mean, that's definitely her job description.
Oh man! So look, so that was incredible. Again, if those two guys are listening, or if you know those two guys, please put us in touch with
And
them.
we know they're not listening. They're listening to reggaeton right now. But if someone could simply
turn it down,
tap on their Uber car that they're driving on the window of their Uber car, and just say, "Hey, don't worry about it. I'm not the boyfriend of the girl you were with last night. I'm simply a fan of the Cooligans, and they want to speak to you.
Can you please turn down Omega and we need to put you in touch with these two guys in New York.
You've played the same Bad Bunny song 4 times. Also, there's 2 guys in New York who want to talk to you."
Okay, so look, another thing happened over the weekend, EMLS Cup.
Yeah, the first one ever over at PAX East in Boston.
That's right. We were hoping we could be there. You were away.
I was away.
But we were hoping we could,
Yeah, me being away apparently did nothing to stop our chances of being there.
But it was cool. I watched a couple of the games. I saw a couple of the group stage matches. Our homie Mike LaBelle got into the knockout round, but he lost in his first game in the knockout round. But who was it? Diddy Crisilito. Yeah, that's his Twitter handle. The NYCFC EMLS.
He's Dominican too, right?
No, he's Haitian, I believe.
Haitian.
Yeah.
All right, well, sac passe, all my peoples out there.
And he was doing great. I was watching his games. I mean, just to see, some of these guys are insanely good at this game. It's crazy. The guy who ended up winning, a guy named Guillermo Trevino, he represents Houston Dynamo.
Houston Dynamo. Do you know the rules? Do you know how it works?
Yeah.
You have to have 2 of the players of the team you represent.
That's right.
And one other MLS player. So you can get anyone else within the league. And you can put them on any team you want.
Yes.
So I think Guillermo, I think he put 2 Houston Dynamo players and I think Javinko on Barcelona, I think.
Well, I mean, you can have any kit. FIFA Ultimate Team is just make up your team. Yeah.
But Xavi and Messi are passing it to, Manotas. It's like,
one day. I mean, look, the rumors, Messi to the Dynamo. It's very plausible.
big rumor we're breaking here right now. Also, we're getting word that that's never gonna fucking happen. So I'm getting that right now.
Our producer Mike, I don't know. We don't even have earpieces.
We don't. I could just hear.
For some reason, we hear him.
The voice in my head is actually just laughing. So we're hearing that that's never gonna fucking happen.
But the Houston Dynamo end up winning EMLS Cup. Congratulations to them.
Latino wins it. Bang, bang, bang.
NYCFC gets in 3rd place.
Not bad.
But the top 2, I forgot who came in 2nd, but the top 2 get to go to they go to Europe for the FIFA
the World Cup.
World Cup qualifiers and stuff like that. So
it's a huge deal. World Cup fills out like stadiums.
I feel bad for Chris missing out.
Where's our dude Mike?
Mike did not make it at all.
LaBelle, what's going on, fam?
He just made it into the knockout round. He was getting kind of beat a little bit.
Was getting worked?
I think he only won 2 or 3 matches in the group stage.
Mike, yo.
Yeah, it was tough. But the competition.
He's living in New York now.
The competition was tough. The guy who beat the NYCFC player was from Montreal, and we got a message from Bourneval, JS Bourneval, about he was just like, shout out to my homies at New York City. Look, the rivalries they bleed over.
They bleed over.
Real life, and
we are all up in your Xbox Live, dog.
But cool, yeah. Hopefully, look, the event went well at PAX East, and hopefully next year, maybe the Cooligans will be there. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
Maybe if you guys were to tweet at PAX East and tell them, or at EMLS.
So look, a couple other things. The CCL games are happening. They would have happened last night.
Right. So we're talking about them. You know what happened.
You know already what happened. Maybe we'll do that's what I was asking before the show. We should do maybe 5-10 minute call
update.
A little update after. We'll probably throw that in at the end of the show. So we'll do that. So but shout out. We're going to the Rebel Chivas match.
Yeah, we're gonna be there.
And huge shout out to, I don't even know if I should say his name. I just say his first name. His name is Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Saint Nick. A fan of the show, a Red Bull fan who is a fan of the Cooligans, and offered a ticket to the show. To the show. To the show. To the CCL show. Ticket to the game. So thank you so much. Look, a lot of times we always
shocked we have a Red Bull fan that's listening to the show.
And that's really the main thing, where it's just like people have been always kind enough to either give us gifts, swag. Like, hey, look, right now we're repping Oxnard Guerreros.
Oxnard Guerreros. That's my cousin who went to boarding school. Oxnard Guerreros, right there.
Okay, he's the more educated Guerreros.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
I think we're both equally.
But so people are always kind to us and do stuff like that, and it's not like we don't make a ton of money doing this. It's a lot, just a peek behind the curtain. Like I just I do freelance like IT work from time to time, and that's sort of how I always make things work with like comedy, and sometimes it's comedy gigs, sometimes they're not, but I always have like an IT thing going on, and I just kind of lost my job, because it's difficult managing.
Because they heard what you said on the Cooligans.
They heard.
It's about time that that hate speech comes back to you.
It's difficult to manage both because I can't really have a full-time job while I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So that it sort of gets in the way.
And that's what I tell my wife as well. So, which is why I don't have one.
I'm the one that's not lying, right?
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So when people offer us stuff like that, it really does mean a lot, because we can't like afford the tickets to CCL games are not cheap.
No,
right?
I don't know why they're that expensive.
So
it's not
Nick,
like there's a line to get in.
Means the world to us. Thank you so much. Shout out a Red Bull fan. Hooking us up. Thank you so much.
And if you do want us to, if you don't mind us saying your name, we'll be more than happy to say it in the next episode. So once again, thanks, or maybe on Instagram we'll shout it out. We're going to do a couple stories.
Exactly.
So if you're listening to this, you probably saw a bunch of the stories. If not, they're up for a couple more hours. Go check them out.
Exactly. All right. So.
And by the way, Oxnard is a city in California. It's just north of Los Angeles. So if you happen to live north of Los Angeles and you think you're pretty good at soccer, why don't you go try out for Oxnard Guerreros, son? You could be wearing my name on your chest, just above the tattoo of me you already have.
Who's gonna have the 81 Guerreros?
Only the best. That is the number 10 at Oxnard. Vamos los Guerreros.
So CCL. Toronto and Club America, Rebels against Chivas. We're gonna talk about this at the end. Any prediction?
I think both Red Bulls and Toronto will get through. Come on, son. All MLS final.
I think
fuck out of here.
I think that's very, very possible, because both teams, both Liga MX clubs do not look that great. So we don't even have to get into it, because again, it already happened as you're listening to this. But
right now you're listening and saying, "Wow, Alexis knows exactly what happened."
But we should at least say there was a story that came out about Patrick Vieira, who was asked about what he thought about the CCL matchups, and if Toronto and the Red Bulls are not
two rivals,
not the favorite of teams for NYCFC, but he did say that he would put aside any rivalry, and he is supporting both of the clubs. Which is
kind of what you got to do. You got to rep the squad, right? You know what I mean? This is MLS single entity, baby. It's all the same team. They all make the same money.
I win, you win, you win, I win.
Come on, yo,
we all win MLS Cup.
Everybody makes a little bit more money. You know what I mean?
I was raising the trophy when Toronto won. I was like, yo, NYCFC gets a piece.
We stunk on the
we get 1/23 of this. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you kidding me? I mean, just take a little piece off that trophy, dog. That's coming home with Baba.
Baba is just. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's a potato. No.
But that was cool of him, because there's a lot of people, especially online, that they do if people, the Montreal fans are like, I hope Toronto loses. A lot of NYCFC fans, I want everything the worst to happen for the Red Bulls, but. There's no denying that if especially if it's an all MLS final, this changes the dynamic of American soccer and how it's viewed in Mexico. And there is, like, we didn't get to talk too much about I'm starting to develop a couple, like, now that I'm like in this world a little bit more, I'm like it's like the
patterns.
Matrix. I'm like seeing
patterns are forming. You're beautiful minding right now is what you're doing.
Just like, there's calculations everywhere.
Everyone just sees you blank for 30 seconds. And I'm like, shh, he's working.
Just eyes keep switching. But look, a
little receipt comes out your mouth. Oh, there it is.
But there's like. I'm starting to see, especially in a lot of the press conferences for Liga MX, I'm always wondering what is all this vitriol towards Major League Soccer teams and American soccer, and why do they speak? They either condescending or they speak about American soccer like it's run specifically by Donald Trump and it's absolutely awful entity.
Right. Like Robert Mueller is investigating MLS as we speak.
So this is what I'm honestly thinking, and this is what I the conclusion I've come to about why there's so much negativity from outside forces, either the Euro snob or the Liga MX, like condescending people. I honestly think it's just Major League Soccer and soccer in America is growing at a pace that's kind of surprising to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a bit like if you're watching it from one of the more traditional leagues, and Liga MX is one of them. There's probably a sense of like, but they're this and they're that, so
yes.
God forbid, you know?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of like, I think maybe 10 years ago there was like, what's a dumb league, the quality's low.
Cute.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. But then in just these last 10 years, and not even just the growth of the quality of the league, it's really the growth in like how much money is being invested. So what's starting to happen is El Piojo, Miguel Herrera, in
who's been complimentary of MLS in the past.
But he after Club America lost to Toronto, he did it gets so annoying. This is for real. Like where he keeps commenting that he'll say like El Europeo, like referring to Jovinko. Like any of the players that are good, he'll refer to them as Europeans.
As the European.
All those Europeans, or like MLS, they have a lot of money. They can pay those guys and all that stuff. So now all of a sudden, it went from the quality
who's handing Gignac gems every month? Get out of here. Yo, you want this smoke too? All right, we give it to Premier League. You think we ain't gonna give it to you?
It is. The tone is changing where it's like now MLS is this oligarchs running this like
we Anji Mahachkala just buying players.
Yeah, we can't compete with the money and all this. I'm like,
well, you weren't singing that song 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 months ago. You weren't singing that song.
It is a little serious. So I think that's really where a lot of this is coming from, in the fear of being replaced.
It's not just that. It's especially the fans, and I think we saw this when it was Toronto versus Tigres. The fans cannot think of anything worse than losing to an MLS club.
Yeah.
The one guy was like, MLS sucks, Tigres are the best. And I was like, you just wait. And then Toronto actually ends up winning, and we were live tweeting from the account. We were both like going nuts. It was a moment for MLS. Like, you know, I know you guys all know we're both NYCFC guys, and we'll talk about them in a second. But when it comes to stuff like this, we rep the league. Like, we kind of got to rep American soccer. So we're going after some of the Mexican fans in the clubs just being funny.
Yeah.
It's what we do. And they're getting heated and saying that MLS sucks. And I'm like, are you watching? And then when they lose, they stopped tweeting at us. They stopped worrying about us. And all of them were starting to tweet at the official club Twitter. You're making us look like fools. You're the donkey of Liga MX. And they can't think of anything more embarrassing. Nothing ruins the face and the name of their club than losing to an MLS team. It's gonna keep happening.
Yeah, and they look for any way to justify the loss.
Yeah. You spend money, or we're tired from playing in the season.
Yeah, I had reposted. I forgot the guy's name, but on Univision Deportes after Club America lost.
I forget the dude's name.
I forgot the dude's name, but he goes.
He's not from Fútbol Picante, right?
No. This is Univision Deportes. UDN.
Fútbol Picante is ESPN.
So he goes, before we even begin, let me just make sure this game was not MLS against Liga MX. This game is Toronto against Club America. I'm like, no.
Yeah, no.
Not even close.
No. That's like Rocky. It's like, no. It's just a black guy versus a white guy. That's all this is. No. There's meaning behind all of this. There's something happening here.
There's a story. This is why it's interesting. Okay? It's layered.
Yeah.
So, that kind of rhetoric is Absurd.
Yeah.
You would never talk like that.
And also, apparently, that dude is like a huge Club America stan.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, he was like, Club America just didn't show up today. It's not just that. More's happening. By the way, you know how many years we wished those Liga MX teams didn't show up, and they still would show up with, like, young players, bad players, or whatever, or their C squad, and still wipe the floor with MLS clubs? Like, this is a huge stepping stone. Like, and you saw it. You see it in real time this year, where, like, Piojo, him himself, when the teams were playing, they were like, oh, we need to bring in the good players.
Yeah.
In like the 35th minute, you know what I mean? We need to make these.
Also, if you don't know
substitutions.
what Piojo is lice.
Yeah, but it's also the nickname you give to a child who's very annoying, and I know that because I was called that a lot growing up.
No, not surprising.
I don't know why such a big
you know who
dude.
wasn't called that? Oxnard wasn't called that. I tell you that.
Oxnard was busy doing his homework, and I was cheating off that homework. So, give me that homework. You left it on the computer, the family computer, son.
So look, we're hoping both. I honestly think both teams are gonna get through. Both MLS clubs are gonna get through. So it is exciting, and Liga MX Twitter is gonna lose their minds if that
Complete
happens.
meltdown, and wait for the second meltdown during the World Cup. I know we didn't make it, but we're all going to be watching as Osorio puts in the 35,000th starting 11. Okay,
He's just trying to put every kind of rotation,
Yeah.
put every player in every different
he's
position.
like, all right, I figured this out. Striker, you're playing goal. Goalkeeper, you're playing striker.
Having a little fun with it.
Yeah, let's just see what happens.
All right. Speaking of fun.
Yeah. Speaking of just a completely odd, came out of nowhere. Tinder has signed a deal with City Football Group,
Yes.
which owns NYCFC and Manchester City, amongst other clubs. Melbourne City and
A
the
bunch,
one
of,
in,
a bunch of light blue clubs.
yeah, everybody's wearing sky blue. But apparently this deal is specific to City and New York City, where this is part of their release. It says Tinder will work with New York City FC and sister club Manchester City FC men's and women's team. Okay.
Sisters? Okay.
Sisters and men's and women? Okay. So far,
Okay.
I don't think we should be on this website. To
Okay.
create an exciting and unique experiences for Tinder users and football fans, from exclusive access to games to once-in-a-lifetime
Yeah.
experiences.
That-
Bring back those sisters we were just talking about.
Yeah, the press release was written in that voice too.
Yeah. Events at the stadium and unique ways to engage with fans. It actually says that. With a strong... it all sounds like sex is happening at the games.
Yeah, and
What is happening? Doesn't
look,
say if it's a shirt sponsor or...
main thing is when it won't happen this year, but when Tropic Saunders comes to an NYCFC game, you gotta stay safe, everybody.
Yeah, everybody, please cover up. Wear a poncho out there, will you? Apparently, a giant Tinder and Manchester City branded blimp flew over Manchester to celebrate the partnership, leading up to the derby. What is?
And that blimp was wearing a double D cup, bro.
Yeah. Actually, it was two blimps right next to each other. Yeah, swipe right, everybody. Swipe right.
No, this is kind of cool. This is pretty cool.
It is cool, but I can't imagine.
Look,
is this more...
there's people who like
Angry
soccer.
Birds is already. Is this on the other sleeve? I don't understand.
There's people who like soccer.
Yeah.
There's people who like sex. There's rarely those two rarely cross.
I mean, if you saw the fans in the 90s, you'd be like, none of these people are having sex. But now, I think, now it's a cooler fan base.
No, I think the idea is obviously to for people to like use the app at, I guess, like at the games, because like you know once you're in that, you set that radius to
Like match at the stadium?
Yeah. I think that's like
Why
it's
wouldn't you
encouraging
be
for that.
watching the game? Have you thought about that?
Man, just swiping left and right on ladies while you're while you're watching the game. I mean it adds something to do for halftime. There's no halftime show.
What's the score? None yet, actually. No one's matching with me. Oh, you meant in the game. Or if it works really well and you guys bang at halftime, it's like top bins, baby. Top and bottom bins, actually.
It is interesting because, like,
some of the bins in the back as well. It's like, Jesus Christ. Where was this?
On the NYCFC Facebook group, after this was announced, there was a lot of funny things about just like people. I forgot who posted it, but somebody posted like, nobody here has. There's nobody here who hasn't hooked up with somebody in the supporter section. And there's like, all right, I don't know. I mean, neither have I. But
okay, I mean, maybe we shouldn't be in this group then. I don't know what you guys do in your extracurricular activities.
I don't know what.
I thought y'all were painting tifos. But I think it would. The one way this might be cool is if like you swipe with someone.
What's a teeth orgy? This is different.
Yeah, teeth orgy. Oh boy, we're gonna need a new fabric.
All right.
Yeah.
That bucket's not paint. Don't use that.
Yeah. Also, why are we putting it all in a bucket? It seems like a bad idea.
It could be easily mixed up. You should put it in a separate room without all the cans of paint.
We're gonna need a lot of tissues here. You bought a bucket specifically for this? Well, I think what would be cool is if you swipe on someone and then you both get tickets to the game for free. That might be a cool partnership.
Oh, like as a date. Yeah, that'd be like the date I date. Okay. I mean,
that might be kind of cool.
For free, though? Come on.
Baby girl, I'm taking you to the Bronx.
It's a high-quality product out there. You can't just give that away for free.
No, like not everybody. Maybe you win it.
Okay.
Because you swiped, you know?
All right, cool. Yeah, if anybody here has, met anybody on Tinder that is also an NYCFC fan, let us know.
Have you ever used Tinder at the game? Let us know. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure people are doing it.
I'm sure people have done it regardless. Yeah. I mean, I like an NYCFC game, like an MLS game, whatever. But like a World Cup game, that's world class. That's
Tindering right there. Only the best get to Tinder at the World Cup.
Okay. So
by the way, has anyone ever hooked up at the game? You know how many players are going to start sending us messages? Absolutely. Yeah.
All day.
She was a reporter.
Okay, so a couple other things before we get into our interview with Daniel Gahitz.
And this is gonna send Liga MX clubs through the roof. Because not only are we actually spending money now as MLS, but apparently our clubs, even the ones that lose, are being valued very highly.
Yes, I think an NPSL club is probably worth $400 billion.
Yeah.
If this is accurate.
Yeah. Oxnard Guerreros right now is worth at least $200 million.
It is weird because there was news about like in the 11 that the owner said he's like basically hemorrhaging money, and there's just like he's a billionaire or whatever, but he's like there's not really. It's tough to make money consistently and buy good players and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So when you hear stuff like this, so DC United,
especially when your league keeps folding. Yeah.
Yeah, that's no fun.
It's not gonna help you out.
So DC United, this news came out today, April 10th, when we're recording this. Stephen Goff writes that Eric Thohier,
I think it's Tahir,
has agreed to sell his majority stake in DC United to partner with Jason Levian, who in turn he's going to begin assembling a group to invest in the MLS organization. So DC United, a team, they have a new stadium that's almost done.
Right.
But for the last couple of years, they've been bad. They've been playing essentially at RFK for a long time, and they were a team that needed just a revamp, a rebranding, or they just needed a lot done. And it looks like this is going to help finally get some investors that are willing to put more money in the club. And the
big thing is that the club is valued at higher than Newcastle, as an example.
So, and this is the weird thing, that the valuation of the club
$500 million,
which seems like a lot.
It seems like, you know how they say sellers will tell you they paid less and buyers will tell you it's worth more.
Yeah.
This might be an example of that second one.
I think
how much is it worth? At least $500 million.
Eric Tahir must have been like, "Did you see what we did to Atlanta United last season? This club is worth clearly $500 million."
It's like whatever you think Atlanta United is worth, throw $100 million on top of that, because that's what this is worth.
That's what we are.
Yo, who knew Patrick Mullins was worth that much?
No, there were a couple humorous things from Pablo Mara, who's been on the show.
Yeah.
At MLSist. He lives in DC. He's been covering DC United for a long time. And it sort of kind of puts in question all the statements about like MLS clubs are losing money and for supposedly.
Yeah, and we need public funds to make a stadium. That issue has not gone away.
Yeah, public funding. We need this. We need that. But
so Pablo's like, dude, does the city get its money back? You know the answer is no.
But when you hear that an MLS team could be worth this much, and this is just the majority stake. It's not even not the entire thing, right?
Right.
So, but to hear that, you sort of feel like, all right, well then something's not accurate, because if people are willing to invest this much money in an MLS club that's supposedly losing money, then you're probably not losing any money at all.
Also, if you're DC, this isn't going to make you happy, but the guy buying it owns a professional basketball team in New Zealand.
Okay.
So look out for that money. You thought oil money was big. Wait till you find out about New Zealand professional basketball money.
Okay, I mean, they could, New Zealand can produce players like Ben Simmons. He came from Australia. It may work out.
Or half of the squad at Colorado right now.
So, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know exactly what. The hope is that anybody that's going to invest in an MLS club is obviously there to make it better. Hopefully, DC United there's no clause to move to, freaking.
Yeah. They're like, forget that stadium we just built. It wasn't our money anyway. We're moving to Columbus.
Hopefully, look, everybody, check the paperwork before you sign anything. There is also news about that, the Save the Crew movement. Apparently, there's a lot of people there's things in place to, one, they have investors that are willing to buy the team. There's plans for a new downtown stadium, and they want Anthony Precourt to sell the team instead of moving it to Austin. So they have like all this in place, and I see on Twitter people hitting up Don Garber directly like, hey, we have everything here. Please listen to us or whatever. So this might not go exactly as everyone is sort of thinking.
The only issue is that he signed a contract that says he could move the team.
Yeah.
The only thing that would get him to sell that team is if there's confidence that it's going to be any better in the stands than it's been, because it's kind of an eyesore. I mean, look, you're not New England, but it's tough to watch. I think you guys got 8,000 people.
Yeah.
By the way, we want the team to stay in Columbus. We want the fans to have it. But also, if Austin continues to what seems to with their public, the way that they are sort of speaking to the public and speaking to the media is as if, no, there's no deal for this guy to use the stadiums here. We're not sure if we want an MLS team here, so on and so forth, which is dumb. If you're seeing that they're worth $500,000, you want one in your city. But it looks like, at least it's how it's being presented to us, that Austin is not as safe an option. If that's the case, I think anyone who's smart to invest that says, wait a minute, I'm going to get all my money back. I'm going to walk away from this, and maybe I can get together with someone else and start a club in Austin or something. Maybe that's possible. Maybe that's possible that he walks away. If that's not the case, I don't see him walking away.
Yeah,
it's an investment. You're going to burn it to the ground first.
which just sounds so lovely.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's business. All right, don't take it personal. Once again, I'm willing to take bribes. I've let everyone know that.
All right, so do you want to get to our next segment?
Let's do it. Let's get to the next segment, baby.
Let's do that. All right, so we'll be right back with Daniel Got Hits right after this.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for listening. We got a new sponsor on the show.
Oh, we got a new sponsor. This
one makes me stand up straight.
This is a salacious sponsor.
Oh, yeah. Just like that Tinder connection with NYCFC. This is Hims. If you haven't heard of Hims, it's a really cool product. It does three things. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skin care, and sexual wellness for men, which we are.
That's right.
Skincare, baby, I got that taken care of. Sexual wellness, baby, what you got for me? Let's talk about it. The cool thing is, all right, so look, you've seen those products where you get like stuff shipped to you, or like if you want to get glasses, right? Like you can FaceTime with a doctor. Maybe if you need glasses, you can't see it. You're not even looking, right? This is kind of like that, but what's really cool is like, all right, look, if you suffer from ED, erectile dysfunction, or if you suffer from hair loss, maybe you're a little embarrassed to go to the doctor. Maybe you don't want to go, go to the pharmacy.
I haven't been to the doctor in 45 years.
45 years at minimum.
I'm
minimum.
Very embarrassed.
I mean, you haven't counted, but it could be that much. Like maybe you're a little embarrassed to go to the pharmacy and be like, yo, Yo, Doc, my dick pills in yet?
Yo, hey, Doc.
Yo.
Hey, Ralph, I know your name, Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph. Ralph, how the kids doing, Ralph? Where are my dick pills? Maybe I shouldn't ask for both of those things after the other. You know, things like that. Maybe you're a little uncomfortable with that. Hims will actually we'll put you in contact with a doctor. You answer a couple questions. You tell them, you know, about what maybe is bothering you or what maybe isn't working so well.
No shame.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe you turn the key to the car and the car don't start. Well, how about this? They're gonna talk to you over the phone and they're gonna send you stuff real discreet.
That's right. And Hims does connect you with real doctors.
These are real doctors.
Real doctors.
Not us.
Clear. It's not just Ralph in the back.
Ralph's like, yo, what up, baby? Thank you for stop yelling in my shop.
It is real doctors and it's real medicine. And look, you can start your subscription just for $5 today if you use
$5.
If you use the promo code CooligansED. So all you got to do.
Try Hims for a month today. It's just $5. We'll get you started for $5 while supplies last. See the website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to a doctor or pharmacy. But we're hooking you up. We're now the plug. We hook you up with funnies about soccer, and we're making your dick work. $5 for the whole month.
So all you got to do is go to forhims.com/CooligansED.
Perfect.
That is the perfect promo
Son
code
of a
for.
Who approved that? Go to forhims, forhims.com/CooligansED.
That's right.
The forhims.com/CooligansED, forhims.com/CooligansED.
Do it. All right.
CooligansED.
That's it. You're not gonna forget that.
Yeah, baby, we're back.
We are back, and this is
unprecedented.
This is insane. This is exciting. Look, we always talk. We're stand-up comedians, and we're trying to merge the world of comedy and soccer together, and it's always exciting to talk to people that are trying to do the same things with soccer and whatever media or format that they're into.
We're always talking about how we're trying to merge these worlds, and we're literally doing it as we speak.
So we're very excited to have him on the show. Daniel got hits.
What's up, guys? What's up? Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, there he is, guys. Because if Daniel don't trust you, we gonna shoot you.
Look, if you don't know Daniel got hits, look him up.
I feel like you're not paying attention.
I feel like not paying. You're not really into this soccer thing. Hashtag soccer gang, as he said.
Soccer gang.
Yeah.
So look.
Show the merch.
I'm not doing a good job of plugging the merch. Wait, I got the phone case
you
at
got
least.
The phone case.
Don't sue me, Louis Vuitton Supreme.
It's everything. I mean, our logo is faked on there somewhere.
I like really weird, I like over the top, like in your face, like gaudy bootleg style, like designer. I like really flashy.
We can
stuff.
all see your hair.
Yeah.
So look, so Daniel got hits. He is. We met you. I think the first time we met you was at NYFest last year.
You guys were killing it with the hosting all day. Yeah, that was
thank
crazy.
you. 8 hours on mic.
Long day.
At some point, you introduced yourself. We're like, "What's up?"
Yep.
Wait, what? Who was that? You were like, and then all of a sudden, you're everywhere, which is awesome.
Yeah. And by the way, my team won the NY Fest as well. We beat Sony in the final.
Yeah.
Just shout out to everybody. Shout out to Jeff from Met Oval for sponsoring the team. We killed it.
Yeah, you did a great job.
So this is what you do. So I after we met that day, I had seen that you do. We met you. I knew Frankie Freestyle.
Freestyle
shout out to Frankie.
us. Yeah, you were with him that day.
And I know both of you guys do soccer freestyle stuff. So and you do tricks.
And you're big on the gram.
Yep.
Yeah. And then after that, I'm like, oh, Daniel does some other stuff.
Yeah.
And he's dropping bars.
Yeah. Dude got bars.
Doing music. And at first, I was just, look, I'll be honest.
Be honest, man. I don't care.
I was incredibly skeptical.
Of course, I get it.
I hear anybody, so there's a white kid.
White boy, blue
kid,
hair.
Yeah.
Great at soccer.
Hashtag soccer gang already. I'm like, maybe we're buying in. And then America's fave white boy.
Yep.
And we're like, maybe we're not buying in just yet.
So I see that, and I'm like, well, okay, what is this like a joke? Initially, I thought that he's like doing some sort of parody of all this stuff. And then
because you're like Takashi El Diez.
Right.
So, but I see it.
That's what it felt like at first, for sure.
100%.
And then I look up some of your music. It's on my Spotify. I'm listening to a couple of tracks. I'm like, oh no, this dude got bars. This got bars. He's the real deal. So cool. Please, let's start with at least how'd the soccer thing start? How'd you get here? Freestylers start, and then rapping.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll do my best to kind of like summarize this.
Yeah.
So I was born in California, actually. San Francisco. My mom is from Brazil, and my dad is from Ireland.
That's
There you
right.
go.
I've
Yeah.
seen you speak Portuguese,
right,
on,
right.
on Instagram.
Exactly.
In
so,
Ireland. I mean, this guy's ordering
It's pretty weird.
churrasco in Ireland.
Right. It's pretty weird. So yeah, my mom's from Rio. So like as a kid in California, you know, I had the Brazilian side, the Irish side, and as a kid growing up, I would go visit family in Brazil every now and then, visit family in Ireland every now and then. So that was
So
always
clearly
my
the
background.
soccer is more from Brazil.
From my parents
and
both,
the
because my
hip-hop
dad
is from
too.
Ireland.
Well, no,
clearly.
definitely not from Ireland, but like you know, Ireland's #1 sport is probably like this Irish sport called Gaelic football. You've seen
football,
that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
after that, it's probably soccer. People are very passionate about soccer.
I think
and
rugby
obviously-
would probably come second.
No,
then
soccer and rugby is like neck and neck. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess you have that, and then in Brazil, obviously, it's everyone is in the blood. So I, you know, thanks to my parents for that. So I was always just growing up as a kid playing soccer every single day in California, and
Because you have skills in that too. We're talking a lot about the hip hop, but you're a really good freestyle. You're
Right,
incredible.
right.
You do some wild stuff though.
yeah, so I'm gonna take it into the freestyle thing. So
Okay.
then when I moved to Ireland when I was a teenager, we moved to Ireland as a family, and I started doing freestyle. Just after training, I would just do some tricks I saw on YouTube or whatever, and I was like, I actually have some type of like natural talent, I guess, for like the skills. I wasn't like the best player on the field, but I always had a lot of skills. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start doing freestyle. And then Red Bull started this like annual Red Bull street style competition, right, which people might have seen out there. And
Yeah, I remember going to Rebel Games and seeing the guys, like,
yeah,
do
Yeah,
it.
they'd be
exactly.
outside. Yeah,
exactly. So I started competing in Ireland, and I became Irish champion of freestyle. So then I was
Alright,
representing
shouts to
Ireland.
you.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
representing Ireland at the World Finals. So I've been to like the last 5 Red Bull World Finals in a row competing. In 2012, I finished second in the whole world at Red Bull.
Ah,
So like
incredible,
that was my freestyle base of like I'm very, very heavily involved in the freestyle community. I would be going to events all over the world, everywhere, Japan, Europe, like Prague, Russia, Brazil, South Africa, all this stuff. So I was really only focused on freestyle. I wanted to be world champion. I didn't quite get there. I finished second. Let's see what happens. But anyway, so then that was like the freestyle thing. That's my initial fan base and the people who really know me. It's like freestyle. That's what I'm passionate about. But then it's not like freestyle is not big enough yet to the point where, you know, mainstream, you need to, about what you said about doing kind of wild stuff.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of get the mainstream people in. Like someone's mom might find my video funny, or someone's younger sister might be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
if it's just freestyle, you know, just doing tricks in your basement with your camera, like no one cares. But you have to, like the way you guys are bridging comedy with soccer, I'm trying to bridge like hip hop, but also just kind of like shock value and social media kind of pranks and craziness.
Yeah.
Mix that with soccer. And,
I love seeing some of because the one I remember most recently was the one where you got the World Cup ball.
The World Cup ball twice.
And
This asshole.
And you kicked it into the ocean.
Yeah, in the Hudson.
Brooklyn Bridge Park.
Yeah.
And
And then the second time you were like, guys, I'm so sorry. Here's the ball. Bam, you do it again.
Yeah. Just because people were, I kind of like don't like the way people idolize these like soccer balls when it comes out. Of course, the ball's great and everything, but it's like you have all these serious unboxings and reviews of
Yeah.
like the leather like exterior, this that is patented with a this that whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just a ball, and I know it costs $160, but I got that ball the previous day actually for free from Adidas, so I don't know what the hell they thought about that.
Yeah.
But they gave it to me for free because I was performing at like the launch of the ball, and then I was like talking to my friend. I was with Frankie. We were both performing, and I was like, "Yo, Frankie, I think it would be hilarious because there was a lot of hype around it. It was the day it came out, and I was like, I think it would be so funny if I pretend like I'm gonna test out the ball to see how it is for freestyle." But then just say like "psych" and just like smash it into the Hudson.
Yeah.
It went so viral.
It went incredible. And then you did it again.
But then you also that's why I like you, and I appreciate the fact that you're at least trying to add a humorous element to what you're doing, because you just did that video. I don't even know the guy's name. It's that dentist like he's like
Dr. Daniel.
He's like a hip hop dentist guy that he does like he fixes teeth for like a lot of
he's
rappers.
amazing, by
He's
the way,
amazing.
yeah.
So but you did a video where you, instead of going to get your teeth fixed, you wanted the ball whitened.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Which is, again, like, but and that bridging of those cultures is always great. Look, I know sometimes people don't take us too seriously because it's like, oh, comedy, or like soccer fans are like, this is my soccer.
Yeah. How dare you make fun
Bring
of our
humor.
tradition?
You can't
It's
bring
like,
humor into it.
You don't want to laugh at all?
And I know for you, I mean, we get it a little bit, but you must get it in waves.
The traditionalist must hate
Yeah,
you.
I get it a lot because, as you guys said, and like I kind of like it when people say, "Oh, at first I thought it was a joke," or "I thought it was this," or "At first I was skeptical," because I'm like, "Yeah, I totally get it. I would be too. Like, who is this white boy like trying to like play soccer?" First of all, the soccer people are like, "He must suck at soccer," before they see it. Then the hip hop people are like, "He probably doesn't know shit about hip hop, doesn't care about hip hop at all." And like, I started out as a producer, not even a rapper. I was making beats for like 5 years before I even started rapping. So
right,
like,
Kanye?
yeah,
He's on the
Pink
Fruity
Polo.
Loops?
Where's my- Fruity Loops, man.
There
Fruity
you
Loops.
go.
So
I
like,
tried that for a summer.
yeah, there you go. But it's,
I made
it's
a lot
cool.
of things that went boop,
Yeah.
boop, boop.
And then
I
Lil
don't know how to
Jon,
do it.
yeah, throw in like one of those.
I couldn't get past the metronome.
Yeah, me neither. I have no idea how that thing works.
But yo, it's cool. I mean, all you can do is be yourself. Like, right? You guys are being yourself. If eventually people, that's the thing. It's like you mentioned Tekashi, right? Or like all these other people, Young Thug, all these people, Future. At the start, everyone ridicules it, and then after a while they're like, you know what, I kind of like this, because people don't know what they want to like. You gotta just you actually have to just do it, and then they're like, you know what, I kind of like it, but like no one likes it. They don't know what to like. You just have to be yourself, and eventually they'll like it. So whatever.
That's how I feel.
You make a good point.
I would just say that's how I felt about whenever there's like new slang that comes out. I remember being a kid, and when somebody said, when off the hook was like the big thing, it was like, yo, that was off the hook. And then somebody went, yo, that's off the meat rack. And I was like, you are ridiculous. Off the meat rack?
This has gone too far.
What a dumb thing to say. And then like 2 weeks later, I was like, yo, that shit was off the meat rack, kid.
The meat rack, you got the shirt that says it. I've been saying this since day one. But, you brought a Future. Like, when I first heard Tony Montana, I was like, this is the dumbest. This isn't hip-hop. He's just repeating something. A week later, I'm like, Tony Montana, Tony Montana. I was like, this is the greatest song ever. It just sometimes, the culture has to catch up to the creativity. Yeah. And it's something that I think we find what we're doing. It's like, we know what our taste is, right? And our talent has to match that. But also the culture has to find a way to be able to accept what we're doing. When trap music first started and the triplets first started, people didn't really know how to like dance to that. They didn't know how to like bob to that yet. Everybody was still bobbing their head. So like eventually you have to like figure out how to enjoy this creativity. What you're doing runs so concurrent to what we're doing, because we're saying, like, look, we have this base of knowledge. We know how to talk about the sport, but we're going to do it in a different way. You clearly are good at these two things, and you're going to just do it in a different way. But you do get sort of this feeling that's like, sometimes people must look at it and go, oh, this is just for the gram. Yeah. So, like, how hard is it for you to, like, try to convert those folks into accepting you for being really good at these two things? Because you don't... With your hip hop stuff, you didn't just put out, be like, yo, best rapper alive. You went out, America's favorite white boy. You're like, you're never not you. Right. So like sometimes it's like people might not think you're being serious, but you've got bars. If people listen to it once, they're like, okay, dude got bars. So how hard is it for you, or is this just part of your game plan?
Yeah, I really don't try to convert anyone. If people say like, anytime I get negative comments on when I put out music, or they're like, yo, you should kill yourself, it's trash, or whatever, I'm like, thanks a lot, like exclamation mark, or like, thanks for listening, thanks for the view, thanks whatever. Like, I really don't care. I feel like the more you try to like make people think like, yo, no, guys, I'm actually really good at soccer. I'm good at rap. People are like, they don't want, it's too needy. Like, I'd rather just be, ironically enough, when you're kind of like, yo, F you, I don't really care if you like me or not, then people actually like you. It's weird. It's a weird reverse psychology. I'd never try to convince anyone that what I'm doing is good. And I kind of like when people think it's almost a parody, because even me, I get it. Like, I have a sense of humor. I know, like, I can stand from the outside and see what I'm doing and be like, this is kind of ridiculous. Like, I'm not, I know it's not, of course. Ridiculous. Yeah, I know it. But it's so fun. Yeah, I just kind of go for it.
And you have a song called I Don't Care.
Yeah, dude, good research. No,
I was watching the video.
For sure.
Yeah, you also have a song named Neymar. So, like, we're like, I love it all.
Exactly, It's just trying to, like, bridge the gap, like you guys said, like, and same thing what you guys are doing, I think, is hilarious. And I think what you guys are doing is, like, a year and a half or 2 years ahead. And, like, the brands and everything, they're going to just catch up in a year, and then you guys will be like, they're going to be like, wow, this is crazy. They were doing this all along. But, you know what I mean? Almost like...
Yeah, we hope you're right.
Yeah. Well, that's what I don't know. That's what I think personally.
Is my wife listening to this?
Well, no, one thing, like... the way you talk about sort of things that you deal with and your optimism is one of the things that stands out to me, because look, we're both stand-up comedians in New York. We've been doing this a long time, and there's a lot of negativity.
It's hard being a stand-up.
It's hard. It's hard. There's a lot of negativity. So when I see a lot of musicians do. They speak very optimistically. They motivate their fans on Instagram. You see how Cardi B does it and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but
she's funny.
I see what you do, and I'm like, man, fuck this dude, man. I hate the optimism so much. Like,
it's so easy to be like, to get like, you know, I guess like jaded, and you're just like, you swipe jade away.
It's envy. I envy that part of it, man.
Well, you know, I have bad days too. Everyone has bad days, but you know, I try to be. I have a lot of faith in God, and I want to, you know, stay hopeful. So I'm not where exactly I want to be either. Some days I'm like, man, should I just stop? Like, should I give up? Why did I spend, 2 months on this music video and like invest all my savings into it, and then it came out and didn't get a good reaction, or like it didn't get barely any views, and I'm like, man, like what am I really doing here? But you know what? It's like, I don't know. I just get up and try again and just, stay positive with it. But I also try not to be like the overly preachy, like every single day. I try to like switch it up a bit, because I'm like, man, when someone's like overly positive every single day, like in a preachy way, then it's like, just shut up, man. Like, let me,
But you were talking about like what your goals are. What are your goals? Like if you could pop in one, freestyle or in hip hop first, or if you could only do one at a big level, which one do you think you'd want?
Well, I already did. Not to sound like cocky, but I already did freestyle at like kind of more or less
number
the
2
highest
in the world.
level.
I mean,
more, so like I already kind of, and freestyle is still a very new subculture. So even if like the world champion currently of freestyle, if you win the world finals, you get like a pat on the back. Like you don't even get like $10. You get nothing.
Wow.
So like,
hey, you won.
like that.
They tuck their hair, blue hair.
Yeah. So there's some freestylers like in Poland, for example, who are like amazing, like best of all time, and he like win the world final. The next day he's just like, all right, I'm going back to Poland to like my mom's house, and then just like there's nothing like. So that's why I was like, man, I kind of did everything with freestyle that I wanted to do. I still freestyle because I love it, so I train every day. I like being a part of the community, but in terms of like competing, I think I'm kind of like, okay, let me just focus on social media now and like music. So I just want to just grow those two things as big as possible. Next month, my friend's moving in with me. He's from Minnesota. He's like a videographer, also a freestyler, and he's going to be doing like daily vlogs with me for YouTube. So he's going to just be like, we're just going to be together all day, every day, just putting out daily YouTube.
Well,
so we're going to go hard.
I imagine your apartment's going to be cold like Minnesota. All right, everybody.
Hey. And maybe if you get rich enough, you can buy yourself a little yacht.
Daniel, where can people listen to you? Where can they follow you? Let everybody know.
For sure, people can just check out Daniel Got Hits on Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere, Tinder, Bumble. Hit me up.
He's on Grindr. He's on them all, baby. He's bars everywhere.
Trying to connect, all right?
He's showing you a bar on Grindr. If there's one track you think people should listen to that you think displays who you are best on this new album, what's the first one they should click on? Tough question.
That's a great question. Honestly, I think just listen to that project, just America's Favorite White Boy on Spotify, and it's like really like a compact album. It's not very long. I cut out lots of songs to just keep those core, 12 or 13 that's on there. So that project as a whole will give people like a good idea. And I think Neymar, for soccer fans, maybe check out Neymar. It's a good song. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
I also love Pay Me. That's a great track right there.
Yeah, Pay Me is good. I think I might like push that one as like the main single. I'll see. Good. Thanks, man.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Daniel Got Hits, thank you so much for
Thanks a lot,
being
guys.
on the show, man. We appreciate it very much.
And check out our social media.
We'll be right back after this.
Hey, we got another sponsor!
One more sponsor. SeatGeek, you remember that?
Welcome back, baby!
SeatGeek, always doing the right thing for the
stay away
Cooligans.
from us, SeatGeek.
All right, so you guys remember, look, the SeatGeek app, which we got the extra ticket, the one that we got for the Chivas and
the game that happened last night that you're listening to about now that we're going to go after this podcast
I got that right on SeatGeek.
We got that on SeatGeek. I can't explain to you how easy it is. The app is already on your phone by now, right? All you do is you pop in the information of where you want to go, and it goes to all the ticketing websites, and it finds you the best deal. Like, what are you gonna do this on your own? What are you, churning your own butter?
That's right. Do the right thing. All right. Look, just download the app, and if you want $20 off your first SeatGeek order, $20.
Which, by the way, it's finding you the best deal. Not only are you saving money already, but now they're gonna give you $20.
So all you got to use is the promo code Cooligans when you're making that purchase on your app. It's so easy.
You go to the app. You put where you want to go. How about this? Maybe you don't know where you want to go. Maybe you got a date coming up, or maybe you got your cousins coming to town or something, or maybe a girl that you've been trying to hook up with or a guy you've been trying to hook up with, they hit you up last minute like, yo, I'm available tonight, and you got to scramble. Maybe you don't know. Guess what? It'll tell you what's happening around you.
That's right.
And not only is it telling you what's happening around you, it's going to give you the best deal that's on the entire internet for that event.
And
what is wrong with you? And guess what? If you've never used the app before, not only check, oh my God, your date's going to love you, because not only are you going to take them to a dope event, you're going to get them a ticket at a discount. They don't need to know that. And you're going to get $20. So do that. Do me a favor. Use that $20. Buy that significant other of yours a drink.
All right. It's a good deal. Promo code Cooligans on SeatGeek app. Do it.
Yeah, baby, we're back.
We are. Did you enjoy that combo?
Danny, man, he got hits.
He got quite a couple hits.
Quite a couple hits.
I'm glad we told him, you should put that in your name.
Yeah. It's because of us. Before that, he was like, Daniel makes music. And we're like, no, it's not good enough.
No, that's not right.
It's more than that. Homie, you got hits. Yeah, he's crazy. He's completely out of his mind, but what a fun guest.
Great dude. So let's go and talk about some of the matches from the weekend. Let's start in the order that they were played in. New England was the Friday night game against Montreal, and this was more of a game for New England than it was a game for Montreal. It wasn't. Games are supposed to be fun.
That's why you play the game.
You want to have a good time.
That's why you started. No one did this because they hated it.
But no, Montreal loses this game 4-0. This is at Gillette Stadium,
and it was not as close as that number.
And really, what made a couple of things that stood out about the game were obviously Nacho Piatti not being there, dealing with an injury, and the red card that was issued in the 14th minute.
Some people are saying it wasn't a red card. How do you feel about that?
Those people should be lined up and shot.
Or someone should jam cleats into their mid calf.
Because what a ridiculous suggestion.
I know he was spinning, but that's clearly a red card.
Yeah,
you don't put your foot up. I don't think he meant to do exactly that, but it clearly was a bad thing.
Yeah, so this was Safir Taider. He kind of like an odd move where he went to essentially shield the ball. The defender got there sooner than I guess he expected.
Yeah,
and he sort of went to plant his foot in front of the ball so that the defender couldn't get it, but the defender was there, Luis Caicedo, and he nearly snapped his leg. I mean, it really could have been that bad.
The sound, you didn't hear the stomp as much, but the sound that he let out.
The
blood-curdling
screams of a man who just got his leg smashed.
Yeah,
was enough to be. The referee, I think, probably didn't even have the best view. He was kind of at the center of the pitch. But
does he have ears?
Yeah. Usually, I mean, you can kind of tell. When you're with a lady and she's moaning a little too much, you're like, all right, I don't know about this.
Someone's trying to get an Oscar. Yeah, someone played in the Argentine League. Okay,
but sometimes you're like, whoa, I think this was an Oscar-worthy performance.
Yeah. Boy, that hymns is really working. Tired.
So but yeah, you heard the scream clearly. There was nothing fake about it.
There was either he got stomped on by cleats, or it's the opening segment of a Law and Order episode.
Yeah, look, and that was the difference in the game. After that, New England, and this is the thing that's surprising, is that New England, I think they're good at soccer.
I don't know. I know that they've won 3 out of the last 4. 3 out of the last 5, if you will, because they've only got 1 loss so far in the season. They drew against New York City in New York City, which maybe they are good if they're drawing against an undefeated team.
They look good against NYCFC.
They took an undefeated team nearly to the brink, right? But the teams they won, Colorado, not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to Columbus. No, they lost to Philly. Okay, that doesn't make you look good, right? Again, drew to what I think is probably the best team in the league right now, and at NYCFC. And then they beat Houston at Houston. Maybe that's kind of a tough game. But then you beat Montreal, with down to 10 men. They're not good with 11. You know what I mean? They're not good with 11 and one of those big Nacho Piatti. You take him out and randomly another player.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a good club, okay? At least not this year.
Yeah.
You know, Remy Gard or Remy Gard, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, you don't gotta do all that.
Remy.
You're doing a little too much.
Little Remy, I don't know how you pronounce it. Clearly, he's working towards next season, right? Please tell us you're working towards
4
next
games
season.
in, he's just like, all right.
I think from the beginning. I think we were like, all right, they sold Tabla. That dude's in the first team of Barcelona.
No, he's not in the first team yet. He's
He
still
practiced with them.
Well, that doesn't count as playing for
Messi he went from not getting minutes at all in Montreal to getting balls passed to him by Messi. I think he's doing just fine.
It's an improvement,
Yeah.
but you know he's not in the Champions League just yet. Let's
just yet.
Give him a break.
So, you know, look, that's not exactly a run where I think I'm impressed.
Sure. Look, Montreal, they have their issues, and we've talked about them a little bit this season because they haven't given us too much to talk about. But in this game, I think the main concern was like even though they were down to 10 men, usually when teams go down to 10 men, there's at least a like, all right, let's bunker down, we'll keep this 1-0, 2-0.
Yeah.
But it really did feel like Montreal kind of gave up during this game. They felt like they were getting beat at every chance. There was next to no effort, a bunch of mistakes from Evan Bush. But a couple of things that were interesting in this game. Teal Bunbury scores the first goal, but in the second goal, that was the penalty from Fagundes. The foul call. It was a foul on Christian Penilla. So it was weird because there was a foul on Christian Penilla. It was a bad challenge, and then on top, but the ball ended up going to Teal Bunbury.
Yeah.
And Teal Bunbury also gets fouled. So there's 2 fouls in the box.
Everybody getting fouled.
So there's clearly 2 fouls, and there's a penalty there that should be awarded. The ref calls a foul, but then uses they have to use video review to determine it. When I thought both were clear and didn't need a video review to begin with, the video review ends up taking close to 7 minutes to finally decide that two penalties, that 2 fouls in the box are deserved of 1 penalty.
Of at least 1 penalty.
Look, if 7 minutes to award 2 penalties and let them take let both players take a shot at the keeper at once.
I think 6.5 minutes was like, can we let both of them take penalties? How does this work?
Because it was ridiculous that it took so long. Apparently, there was some suggestion that there were technical issues with the video system referee. But even still, there's 2 penalties there. There's 2 clear penalties. So why does it take so long to decide if one of them is worthy of the pen?
This is ridiculous. It took so long. And this reminds me of the airplane ride back from Ireland. A couple people.
It took 7 minutes long.
It was 7 minutes. And I was like, this is just forever.
Wow, you were suffering.
Just let me kick this ball already, Delta.
I can see why you're so jet lagged. That was quite a long flight.
Heavily jet lagged. Some people's screens weren't working. So in the middle of a movie, they were like, sorry, everyone, we have to reset the screens. It's going to take 20 minutes to reset the system, and hopefully that works. And when it came back, other people's screens now weren't working, including those 10. So I asked the lady, I was like, oh, what happened with the screen? She's like, oh, a lot of them aren't working. I'm like, oh, did you write down? And she's like, no, we just know that a bunch. And they had said in the announcement, like, you can call and get additional miles for that. So I'm just going to call and get additional miles.
Okay.
Son, you didn't write it down? You have no idea. That's what they should have done to Teal Bunbury.
Also, if people,
you know what I mean, like, all right, one gets a penalty, the rest of you frequent flyer miles. We got you, baby. We get it.
If you guys listening don't know Alexis too well, this is exactly who Alexis is.
This is peak. This Oxnard would not do this.
Alexis is always looking for an opportunity to get something for free or something. Yeah. He will, even if like nothing is wrong with the meal, he'll find something to complain about.
No. I don't complain about food. I do not complain about food.
But you'll always look for an angle to make the business feel bad about the service that they've provided you.
If it was bad, don't make me. I'm not like a shyster. You know what I mean? But like, if you give a shit out for free, son, you have no idea if I'm one of those at the screen at work. Also, I was inconvenienced. I was in the middle of watching Furious 7. Okay.
That's the main thing, is that Alexis will not be inconvenienced.
How dare you inconvenience me?
To even the slightest degree.
No, you deserve to pay me. We went and got burgers, and the dude, I was going to say mother, the dude way overcooked my burger. I couldn't finish it. It tasted like charcoal, and this dude's just sitting there enjoying his burger. He'll eat anything. He doesn't know what a burger's supposed to taste like. He drinks powder.
Nothing wrong with the burger.
It was atrocious, terrible. Stop waiting in line 2 hours of Black Tap. It's the worst burger in New York City. McDonald's serves a better burger. You heard it from here.
Unbelievable. This is
disgusting. McDonald's wouldn't have overcooked it because they don't cook. They thaw. Anyway, it was so completely done, and I was like, yeah. I said something to the guy, and the guy's like, oh, let me take your beer off. No, I enjoyed the beer. The beer was good. Take this motherfucking burger off. I couldn't eat the burger. Take the burger off the receipt.
No, take it off the menu.
Take it off the menu.
Let me read through the menu.
Stop selling burgers. From now on, you sell charcoal wrapped in bad buns, which is a great rapper, by the way.
Boy. Okay, moving on. I'm trying to think for a nickname for the thrashing in Atlanta between Atlanta and LAFC.
What, the post Zlatan beatdown?
Clearly there is abuse.
The stop. I think it's dead.
Atlanta United against Los Angeles Football Club. They defeat the expansion club 5-0. In their home, really just, and this game got off to quite the start because merely seconds in, Chris McCann of Atlanta United was like, all right, I'm starting Tata put me in here. I am making my presence felt.
I will show you passion, and also, I wonder what it would be like to slip and slide on this field.
Okay, so look, right at the Mercedes-Benz, he was like 36 seconds into this game. The ball...
He just got on the field.
No one's even sweating, I think.
The referee's putting the whistle back in his pocket still. It's not even in his pocket. He's like, I wonder if I should keep it on my wrist or... What? I gotta use it.
There's no way I'm gonna need it this quickly.
No.
But Chris McCann, the ball's bouncing around. There's maybe about 3 or 4 passes made before Chris McCann makes just absolute barrel roll of a challenge towards Benny Feilhaber.
He yelled "woo" as he did it.
He was like, I think he thought he was the Kool-Aid man bursting it through a building.
I don't know how to explain it, but like the camera, they had that one camera angle that was like zoomed in a bit, and he literally came in sliding already from the left angle and slid out the right side of the screen. He just like
flew right through the lens. So look, he makes a challenge on for the ball against Benny Feilhaber. Absolutely, he's so lucky because
very lucky, like inches away from double footing, double kneeing, double hipping, double elbow, double shouldering.
I think he headed Benny Feilhaber's legs. I think
on the way down, he gave him a little chin action.
He hit him with every part of his body. Yeah,
it was like car crash sounds were coming out. He was seconds away from it.
He did go in like double footed. Jumped in towards the ball at the absolute last second. He sort of tucks his sort of lower legs back in.
Yeah, which just makes him a projectile. Like he cannonballed vertically or horizontally, I should say.
Yeah, what my favorite thing was that there were a lot of complaints, and I love that some of the guys from Mount of the South were having this debate because Eric Cantana I saw on Twitter was like, look, everybody take your Atlanta United glasses off.
Yeah,
and if you look at this is a red card.
Yeah, not anybody, even a fan should look at that and go, that's not a smart tackle. That's not a smart attempt at a tackle.
So I like that even amongst the Atlanta United, the people who basically run all the MLS polls, they run the league now when it comes to that.
They're unbiased enough to look at that and go, okay, it wasn't smart.
But
the only person who didn't believe it was a red card was McCann, because he was like, no, I'm coming back. Don't worry about it. I'm coming back. Which that VAR is done. I'm coming back.
But it was cool because Eric Cantano was posting that. Jay Riddle, our homie Jay Riddle, was posting images of sort of
just
frame by frame.
Yeah.
And Chris McCann, he is the Quicksilver. He is a blur throughout this entire thing. You cannot even tell.
You don't have the frames per second to catch this man in action.
They needed a 400 frame per second thing to even verify if this was a good challenge or not.
There are no action shot cameras that can catch what he was doing. He buzzed so fast.
Look, I thought watching the game, especially as a neutral, I'm like, as soon as this happens and I see that he gets the red, I'm like, all right, well, now I'm not going to enjoy this game, right?
Yeah.
I think this is 36 seconds in.
A red, straight red.
Red straight. I think that was the...
He wouldn't even have to shower. He'd just be like, all right, I guess I'll just...
just put my suit back on.
Just take the jersey off,
Hey, guys, I'm ready for post-game interviews.
Yeah.
Hey, no, it's still the 4th minute of the game.
I don't even have to open up my toiletry bag. My hair's still done. Yeah.
I'm fine. Okay, so that was at least there was some debate about it. I personally thought, as a neutral, I'm like, I hate that this is happening. I want to see these two teams at full strength go against each other. And not like it mattered. I think a 10-man Atlanta United would have been just fine.
Yeah, apparently.
But
against that backline of LAFC. Backline.
But look, overall, I just felt like it was... I thought it was correct, the yellow. I know some people thought it was that he should have gotten a red. I thought he pulled out forhims.com/Cooligans. I thought he
give yourself a chance to pull out, everybody, just like McCann.
He pulled out just at the absolute last
yes,
second.
you McCann, forhims.com/Cooligans.
And it was interesting when he did come back on the field. He did. He wasn't given the yellow, but for whatever reason, Chris McCann wanted to argue about the yellow to begin with.
Well, I think the point is he really didn't make contact with Fehlhaber.
He totally did make contact with Fehlhaber, but
it
wasn't like studs up.
Yeah, it wasn't studs up. It was what I'm saying. Like, he didn't make red card contact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, all right, maybe you kind of forgive him, but also, what was the speech that Tata gave before the game?
He got them riled up.
He was like, I'm coming in here. I'm taking you all out.
Chris McCann is like, put me in, coach.
Blow my goddamn whistle. Blow my goddamn whistle. I'm ready to go.
Just like, man, just losing his mind, right?
Yeah.
I think they let Chris McCann out of a cage before the game.
He's just got a raw pork chop in his mouth. He's like,
where is he? Where is he? Give me Benny Fehlhaber's stupid haircut. I'm going after him. But look, this game began in like a very controversial way. I'm glad McCann got to go back on the field, but LAFC, a lot of problems, and we're starting to see. We saw it in the last 8 goals they've given up.
Yeah.
The last 9 goals that they've given up. From that moment. From that Sebastian Lletget goal till the Romario Williams goal, there's so many defensive issues that it's kind of surreal to, especially with, let's talk about João Moutinho, because João Moutinho, obviously the first pick.
He's also a kid.
He's a kid. I know, and that's the thing, and he's the first pick in the draft. This year, and to put so much for Bob Bradley to put so much responsibility.
Look, it's what you want. You know, when you're a kid and you get drafted, you don't want to sit on the bench. You want to play. So he's getting an experience and he's getting an education that he wouldn't get anywhere else. And we've been saying, play your kids, play your kids, play your kids. But this is where that could go wrong.
Yeah, and it has.
We watched it in full time. We watched it in real time.
It has gone very wrong. It feels like, honestly, the last couple goals are totally his fault. He's really not marking correctly. He's not like in the best positions.
Yeah.
There's not much communication between him, Walker Zimmerman, and Laurent Simon. They look like like they're in disarray. Just the back line, the midfield. Not really much of an issue. I think they're doing fine. Offensively, they try they have some things going on. But I mean, against Atlanta, they looked awful. But it's really defensively. And João Moutinho also gets sent off, a yellow on a challenge late in the game, and then a handball. And this feels more like
on the wall for a free kick, which is
It's not supposed to happen.
No, you're 20, dude. Take it off the face.
Take it in the face.
Yes, forhims.com/Cooligans.
So it just a ridiculous.
You've been Cooligans.
He puts his hand to cover to protect his face from the ball, and it's like, all right, well, you're out of here, dog. I mean, you know the rules.
Yeah, the rules aren't different in college for this, right?
And it looked like, I mean, look, they were already losing like 4-0 at the time, but
now you lose them. So now let's see what they have planned on the back line. And look, this isn't new. If you're an LAFC fan, you've known from the get-go that your back line was your weak point. Your depth is a weak point. So let's see what the 3,300 owners of LAFC have planned. Let's see what Bob Bradley has planned to change
I don't even want to
around.
be. I don't want to even want to be on one of those owners' conference calls. It's just like
they do
everybody
it at
just
the forum.
just scream. No, I think we should. Just,
Please leave all the questions to the end of the meeting.
Just constant screaming. So look, but shout out to the homie Julian Gressel, who played very, very well.
Yeah, he did well for me in fantasy, by the way.
Man of the match, and
had a
also
shit game.
Romario Williams gets his first goal. Well, we didn't even talk about Andrew Farrell from New England. Got his first MLS goal ever. He was the longest
tenured player without a goal.
Yeah, and he was going nuts.
Finally opened his account, you know.
So
and Atlanta also started that young kid,
Miles Robinson.
Miles Robinson.
So the
play your kids works out sometimes, works out not so well other times.
Okay, so. The other thing that was interesting was the tifo in Atlanta. Shout out to Footy Mob.
Footy Mob
really
coming in,
doing it for the culture for real.
They're sliding into the culture. The McCann slides into a tackle. They're coming in full body, two studs up. They did a great job. It was the Wakanda forever, but they did Atlanta forever. I love how the chain was the spikes instead of. I didn't see Black Panther, so I don't know what the other thing is. What is it, like claws or something?
Yeah, he has the claws on that are the thing that allows him to like put the suit on him or whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, I need to watch the movie. I wait till movies come out like on video on demand or something because.
What's weird? I went to go see.
Because I don't want bed bugs.
Again, he doesn't want to be inconvenienced. I love bed bugs, and I think they're great.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
But I went to see Black Panther. I saw it about 2 weeks after the movie was released, and I saw it like at a late show, maybe like 11 o'clock. And I was watching the movie, and about 20 minutes in, I hear somebody sleeping. He's snoring. I hear legit snoring. And I was like, snoring. Way worse than people talking.
That is way worse.
It's just because it doesn't stop, and it's like
will not go anywhere.
It's so consistent.
Yeah.
So I was there, I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, somebody's snoring. I'm like, and Black Panther more than anything, and just like
it's an action-packed movie from everything I've heard.
Action-packed, also very iconic, very important for like the Black community to see like a movie, such a big movie, a Marvel film with like
huge.
And there's only like 2 or 3 white people in the movie. It's like I mean, it's just so unique, right?
Yeah.
So I'm watching it, and I'm like. I hear this. I'm like, all right, I'm going to turn around and see some, like, white devil snoring during that. And I'm just like, I have this presumption.
Yeah.
And then I turn around, and it's just a black dude. Just sleeping.
a black dude
He's
sleeping?
just tired.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Taking that, bro.
All right. Well, I mean, it's your culture right here, so you do what you want right now.
Okay, no, hey. Like, maybe it's like, you probably had a long day.
I mean, do me a favor, stay up for Pitch Perfect or whatever that song is where they're all at that movie where they're all singing. Yeah. Whatever that one is, Pitch Perfect. Stay awake for Pitch Perfect 7. But yeah, sleep through this.
But it was cool to see a tifo like this, and the fact that Footy Mob put it together, and it was Darlington Nagby, and with the spikes and everything. Yeah. But that is one of those things that I was just like, again, this is. Straight up, this is us. This is, not the show on NBC. This is
this is us.
This is American soccer culture, and shout out to Footy Mob for getting.
And once again, they're down in Atlanta, especially Footy Mob in particular. They're doing something that hasn't existed in American soccer before, and maybe it has, and it just hasn't been as forefront as it is now. And when we started this podcast, we had no idea it existed, so we wanted to do something for that culture specifically, of a little hip hop, a little city, a little like New York because we're in New York, but a little like, sort of like an urban vibe, if you will, like that just didn't exist in American soccer. And I'm happy to see other people doing the same thing. So it's absolutely beautiful. Keep doing the tifos, keep doing the chants. The "We Ready" chant is dope. All that stuff, we absolutely love it.
So let's move on to the next game. Chicago against Columbus. Chicago finally gets their first win of the year. And this, even though this game, we don't really talk too many.
With Schweinsteiger playing coach? I mean, what was it?
Schweinsteiger played ball kid.
Yeah,
so Schweinsteiger was everywhere on this field. I think he was tossing popcorn to Nicole Hack.
It was very weird, yeah.
So I'm doing a bunch of stuff. So so Chicago wins this game 1-0. Finally, they get their first win. They've been having a bit of a rough start, even though they've been scoring a couple goals. They've been losing, in like sad fashion, especially against Sporting Kansas City when they gave up 3 goals or 4 goals. But this is what was fascinating about this game, and I don't know exactly what Coach Veljko Paunovic is doing out there, but it seems to be working to some extent. Bastian Schweinsteiger.
This is a lot like New England, where we're like, we don't know how, but it seems to be working. Look,
all right.
We're not going to ask any questions. All right.
I mean, you're getting results.
You live a little. Go ahead, do your thing.
So the Bastian Schweinsteiger. If you watch this game, and I know a lot of people in Chicago did not watch this game because there are not many people there, but Bastian Schweinsteiger is playing this role. I'm pretty sure he's never played before. Where he's basically a defensive mid, but also playing center back.
Yeah, it's almost like a sweeper.
Yeah, they're definitely doing like 3-5-2. Yeah. But that 3 in the back is sometimes Bastian is one of the 3.
Yeah.
Oh, he's also one of the 3 up front. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's a 2-5-4, and we're all very confused. But it seems to be working.
Yeah. Look, and there was a great article on MLSsoccer.com from Bobby Warshaw about sort of this tactic and this style, and he did mention that. That Bastian Schweinsteiger has this ability because they're putting the trust in him to basically cover any when he senses any danger. I mean, he's essentially Spider-Man, right?
It comes out.
Schweinsteiger sense. Whenever he senses any
sense.
So he basically just attacks when there's any danger. And a big responsibility to put on a player that is not the most athletically gifted. He
also pretty up there in age.
33 years old. Also, he has to carry around them big tree trunks under his knees.
He's got those yoga mats for calves.
So it can't be easy. And he was getting from a offensive perspective, as far as him being sort of controlling the game, I think this works. From a defensive perspective, I think this is very, very risky because Columbus was attacking Bastian the entire time. They were just trying to kind of lob balls over him, trying to get past. He's not the fastest guy, but to his credit,
just tire him out.
Yeah, but to his credit, he's a smart player and he knows exactly where to be. Yeah. He's not caught out of position too many times, but there were a couple balls that like Higuain just sent over to Zardes, but Columbus couldn't do it. They couldn't put any away.
Here's the thing, though. To some degree, I mean, if you're Pano, I mean, you're kind of happy with that result because don't you want the other team to not play to their strengths? And sending long balls, that's not the Columbus Crew way. You know what I mean? That's you knock them out of their game plan by doing that.
Okay, yeah, the midfield was like, I mean, I wouldn't
kind of stunted. I think the reason this worked so well is because it was new and it was something that necessarily wasn't planned. So you sort of have to now just react to it as it's happening in front of you. But at the same time, I don't know if this is how you move forward. You know, I mean, you've got players like Nikolic who can score on those like random opportunities where someone like a Zach Steffen screws up, which doesn't happen very often. The guy plays very well with his feet. That's one of the things about him that's great. I think that's one of the reasons why I love the fact that he's part of the men's national team. So this isn't like a standard thing that's going to happen where he's going to pass the ball to basically a great scorer. You know what I mean? But I don't know that this is the plan moving forward, is to have Schweinsteiger do all of this.
Yeah, without a doubt, I guess it's an experiment until maybe. It seems like they haven't replaced David Occam, and they're like trying to figure it out until maybe they sign somebody like in the summer or something like that. So I don't know. exactly what they're gonna do. Shout out to the homie Drew Connor, who was Chicago Fire. He's a defender. He plays like I think left back,
midfielder and defender. He can play both.
Yeah. So he plays 90 minutes in this game and has a good game. I mean, he there was like maybe 1 or 2 mistakes, but for the most part, he seemed reliable and made a lot of good decisions. And put the pressure on Columbus at the right times. It definitely felt like for Chicago Fire to win games, everybody has to be like on the same game plan.
Right.
And so look, hopefully they sort some of this stuff out. But there's been another rumor that Iker Casillas might be coming to Chicago Fire.
Why?
Which I don't. It's always strange when like the older goalkeeper. I don't know. Look, Richard Sanchez is their goalkeeper now. They got rid of Matt Lampson, who went to Minnesota.
I want to talk to Lampson. I forget where he went.
I think he went to Minnesota. I don't remember. But
you don't want Iker Casillas.
Yeah,
that's such a dumb move.
Maybe.
No, not maybe. It is. It's a dumb move.
I mean, look, there's nothing. You can't deny that. I mean, World Cup winner. How many times has he won the Champions League? He's a good keeper. Is that exactly what the Fire need right now?
Right. I don't think so.
I don't know. We did get a message from Nicole Hack, a friend of the show. She did mention that the Sector Latino 12,
yes,
Sector Latino from the Chicago Fire supporters group, they had a
the coffin.
They had a coffin for the Columbus crew.
Yeah, for the Columbus crew, which is
look. Those are there's an intense rivalry between Chicago and Columbus that's been there for a long time. But you seeing we can retweet the picture. You can find it at Soccer Cooligans. But this. Yeah, I mean, it looks very ominous and scary. This is. I mean, it's just you bring I don't know how you get a coffin into Toyota Park.
We can't bring a backpack in to Yankee Stadium.
You brought a coffin.
A coffin? No. Trust me, this is it's a gag. We really need
the shade is real out in Chicago. So shout out to them. So, all right, let's talk about 2 other games. And both of these games were nuts, in their own way. But this one had to be the craziest. Orlando against Portland. Orlando City. Against Portland. Back-to-back.
Who actually won this game and who actually lost this game?
Look, I don't know what Platano phone has done to this team.
It has changed everything.
But everything is nothing. Up is down, down is up.
Nothing will ever be the same after Platano phone.
But look. Now, I don't know how long this nickname has existed.
Yeah.
But cardiac cats. Have you heard this?
I have heard this.
I don't know when it started necessarily. I mean, it might have just started last week.
Yeah.
Against the Red Bulls, but. Orlando wins this game 3-2 after being down 2-0.
After being down 2-0. I mean, they came back.
For 80 minutes.
They LA Galaxied, at the end of the game. But I think for the second week in a row, or the second game in a row, I should say, what happened is they brought in our old friend, has been on the show.
That's right.
Changes the game completely. RJ Allen comes in.
RJ Allen. You want results? You bring RJ Allen into your game.
My man's pinging the forwards with great bat. He seems to be the sort of something that settles the defense down.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually gets into those open spaces that are left over from Miram. Miram playing pretty badly too.
Miram, I wouldn't say it's bad, but more than anything, I think Orlando City have. I think their biggest issue is that they brought Sasha Kljestan and Justin Miram, which I believe are the same guy. They're the same player. I don't know why.
Kljestan seems to want to stay in the midfield a bit more now in his older age, and Miram still wants to get more forward. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
In Columbus, Justin Miram had a much more reserved role in the midfield. Yeah. I mean, he was an attacking midfielder without a doubt. But this, with Orlando City, he's playing like a winger, and which is not really. He's not that player.
That's not what you want to do.
So I wouldn't necessarily be too harsh on him. I just think he's sort of playing in the wrong place. But. So 3-2. So this game starts off with a penalty that Diego Valeri scores, but the goal, the foul happens because Sebastian Blanco is fouled by Mohamed Al Munir, and initially Toledo, which is the referee, he gives a yellow card, which is the second yellow, to Sebastian Blanco, gives him a red, sends him off for diving. Video review, looks at it, says, oh, he actually did get fouled.
You know what's funny about that play is, you know how like defenders will react? Like, how could you possibly? I never. There was something about the way he reacted where you were like, oh, he's being serious. He actually didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, the acting wasn't bad. You know, like when you know how someone lies, they'll start, like, I have a friend who every time he would lie, he would start the sentence with no, but. So you'd be like, oh,
okay, yeah. So this is your tell.
Yeah. So you'd be like, oh, yeah. So you said you were driving your mother to the airport. Didn't I just hear your mother in the background? No, but she can't go. Like, and you're like, oh, all right. He's just lying because he started with no. But like, I don't know what the tell was, but it was just like enough. He was like, no, I mean, serious. I didn't do it. You know?
Yeah. Blanco got up very quickly, and he didn't do like the Almiron at the Almiron play where after Walker Zimmerman tackled him and just. Which there was like very light to zero contact, and is just made a show of it.
Yeah. I mean, just really went all out, was just really accepting the Oscar, you know, just really giving it his all.
So Blanco got right up and was like, okay, that was a foul, and our penalty will be excuse me?
Yeah.
No.
Who? Me?
No, this is not. No, that's not.
That's not how that works. That's not how that works at all.
So Valeri scores that. But the most like absolutely fascinating part of this game is the second goal that Orlando City scores, because they were awarded that. They got the first goal from Chris Mueller, the rookie, and then the second goal awarded a penalty minutes after the goal from Chris Mueller.
Yeah.
This is after there's that purple smoke.
Yeah.
And then
the penalty gets called inside the purple smoke.
Inside the purple smoke.
Yeah. Which he's like, I think that's where the spot is. He's pointing elsewhere. He's pointing at some lady who's eating her third hot dog, and he's just like,
wait, are you talking to me?
Should I not eat it? I mean, I felt bad about it.
Are they going to take the penalty kick from my seat?
Yeah. I mean, did I do something wrong? I just got a red card. Is it because I put ketchup on it? Should I not do that?
No, it's really ridiculous. Well, look, Dom Dwyer clearly dives. It was Alvis Powell that shoulder to shoulder taps him. Dom Dwyer makes a huge production
but
of it.
There was contact, and Alvis Powell is a monster walking among us. The guy's 9 foot tall. LeBron James decided to become a defender on Portland. That's who that man is.
Still ridiculous.
Remember when he was just mushing people out of the way and not getting called for it? He deserves it. He's still paying Carmel off.
Still absurd that
now he made contact.
That the ref gives this penalty, also decides to not review it, because apparently when it's not a clear and obvious error, the ref can be like, he doesn't have to look at it.
He doesn't have to look at it.
He was like, you know what? I feel like it was a penalty.
Something tells me it was a penalty.
Like something about like.
And also, you can't tell me what angle you were in. Oh no, this was after the smoke. No, this was in the smoke.
This was in the smoke.
Yeah, because like you can't tell me what angle you could see it at. You couldn't see anything. No one could see anything. But he thought it was a foul because he saw the sideline judge waving his hand. He was trying to get the smoke out of the way. That's what he was doing. He was just like, get this fucking smoke out of the goddamn way.
All this damn smoke, right?
Jesus Christ, was Kessin over here? Why we got it? Why's everyone getting smoked?
He's like, oh man, there must have been like 6 fouls.
Yeah. I really should be watching this game.
Really, like, I'm just crazy. I cannot believe they don't review that. Dom Dwyer did not get fouled at all.
He got touched. You go down. That's being wily. The other goal, which is the most Dom Dwyer goal of all time.
I mean, that was
he cuts back, falls, gets up before the defender.
I thought when he was doing that, I'm like, pass the ball, Dom. What are you, ridiculous?
What are you gonna do this on your? Oh, never mind. Yeah. All right. You got it like that.
Yeah.
Dom.
So look, Orlando City comes back. Portland. What's up with Portland? I mean, that's really
I know they haven't even played a home game yet, but if Gio Savarese is not on a hot seat, I don't know what's going on.
I loved the tone of the entire of the game, especially between the first and the second half. Oh, not even from the first minute to the 80th minute. The announcer was just like, "Well, Jason Christ is clearly on the hot seat. I don't know what he's going to do after this game.
Unless there's a complete miracle. A miracle is happening.
Even Matt Doyle was just like, Christ, you have to consider firing him after this game.
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
Get a raise, baby. Huh?
Make him team president.
Yeah, you get an Audi. Huh? Thank you.
Just insane. But an incredibly entertaining game. And Orlando, I think, moves into 6th place after this. And I think, look, the beginning of the season, they started without Dom Dwyer. He was injured. But just him being there, he is a difference.
He changes everything.
He is gonna get you goals, whether he has to, fake an orgasm on the pitch, or
forhims.com/cooligansed,
or he's gonna get amazing goals. And even more after this game, during this game, Merritt Paulson, owner of Portland Timbers,
going ballistic,
getting into a beef.
Everybody gets on Twitter
with the wife of Dom Dwyer, which
Sydney LaRue. Sydney Ride or Die LaRue.
Which is incredible. Look, there were a bunch of tweets back and forth where she called him. He complained about the call and why there wasn't a video review, and she says, "Oh, Merritt, you're so soft," which is like, all right. You
say that to me, we get into Twitter beef.
My wife is a shooter out here. Yeah. And then he replies with, "Oh, all right, the social media warriors."
Yeah. Sitting in the room was like, I'm the only idiot in the room, but I'm still the realest.
Insane. So much entertainment on the pitch, off the pitch, on social media.
You don't get this when you're watching Manchester United versus Manchester City. You don't get this. Players' wives aren't going after owners.
We need more of that. So
less exciting, less valuable.
Last game we're gonna talk about.
Do this quickly so we can get out of here.
Yeah, LA against Los Angeles Galaxy. We have to clarify against Sporting Kansas City. Sporting Kansas City
washed them.
Give him the business too.
Daniel Kuzer went all the way out to LA for this.
That's right, and his wife.
And his wife. That's right. Apparently,
who also tweets at owners of teams.
Yeah. Oh, she's a shooter as well. Apparently, the Kuzer family needs to travel along with Sporting Kansas City because they're that lucky charm, man. They looked amazing. 2-0.
Shout out to Dan Kuzer because a host of No Other Pod, a great Sporting Kansas City podcast. But he
also at the Harry Potter exhibit.
Yeah, I saw that. But no,
rocking the gulliest tee.
I love he made a video of an LA Galaxy cap. This must have been like in a parking lot somewhere. Yeah. There's an LA Galaxy cap on the ground, pulls away, and it's just him kicking the LA Galaxy cap.
Somebody kicks it into like...
He did.
It was him? Yes. All right, I thought he was the one shooting the video.
No.
Somebody just like, field goal kicks that bad boy.
That's right. It was impressive. So, look, this game, I think more than anything, Sporting Kansas City, they're a better team than LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
After they're down 2-0, especially after that incredible goal from Johnny Russell, who cut up Daniel Steres and Ashley Cole, just embarrassed both of them, I thought. And after that goal happened, everybody's like, oh, well, Zlatan's going to be here. He's going to fix everything.
Down 2-0, don't worry about it. He's done He's done more,
But no, Tim Melia decides to have the game of his, one of the best games of the season so far.
Tim Melia and the crossbar. That crossbar.
I mean, yes, but he did, especially the goal the shot that Ashley Cole took, which was a great deflection. I mean, it was a curving ball. And Tim Melia did the right thing. I mean, he caused it to hit the post. Yes, they hit the post a couple times.
Alessandrini hit it. Chris Pontius hit it.
But there really weren't many defensive issues for Sporting Kansas City. And look, that's a part of the game. You're gonna hit the post a couple times. Yeah.
Although Ashley Cole with that cut, did you see that? 37 years old, he cut. I forgot who he put. I think it was Graham Zusi. Graham Zusi on his ass.
Yeah, it was great. I thought. I liked seeing. I think Sporting Kansas City more than anything, especially they should play like the way they played last year. They were such a good defensive team, and it's good to see them sort of get back on track. Also, the homie Kyrie Shelton looking
pretty good. He's doing the work.
He's doing what?
He's not getting the results like you would see on a stat sheet. He's not getting the goals. He's not getting the other thing. But he looks good in that position. But clearly, they're going to go by a center forward. He is not the guy you have all season.
I don't know.
No, I'm telling you, he's not. I mean,
and they won this game without Felipe Gutierrez, and
really happy I started him in my fantasy. Thank you.
Good move on your part.
Yeah. Made him captain. No, I didn't. I didn't do that.
But I don't know. I think he's getting the minutes that he didn't get at NYCFC, and he's
getting in his groove.
And he's playing. Yeah, he's finding a role for himself. So look, I wish him all the best. But Zlatan couldn't provide the miracle that he provided last week. So
yeah,
what are you gonna do? All right.
Yeah, baby. We didn't actually go to break, so we're just doing a little late night segment here.
Yeah, a nice little after getting back from Red Bull Arena, seeing the Red Bulls do what they do, and talking about a little CONCACAF Champions League.
Well, here's my question: what is it again that they did? Because it seemed like they didn't do much.
They do what they do, baby. That's it. They do what they do.
Meanwhile, Toronto went down to Mexico, and they just took care of business.
Yeah, they had easier kind of they had a better advantage. I'm not going to say it was easier because going into the Azteca and even getting any kind of result is a big deal. But this is pretty wild. This game. Look, we were talking at the top of the show. We didn't know what the results were going to be. We expected an all MLS final. We only have one MLS club there, but we know it's Toronto FC against Chivas. It should be. I mean, is this a done deal? It'd be Toronto. Is an MLS club gonna win the CONCACAF Champions League? Is this? Because I think it's basically set in stone already.
I agree with you, but I think what we saw today was a team that was not as good as New York Red Bull, but still found a way to win. And this is all they have. Chivas is probably going to get relegated, okay? Or they're shutting down relegation so that Chivas doesn't get relegated. This is legitimately all they have. They are one of the worst teams in Liga MX. All right? This is it. So if you don't think they're going to throw all shit towards Toronto.
They're currently in 15th place in the standings. Yeah, they're not a good team. And let's just talk very quickly about the game itself. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to Nick Lage Nick Lageman for letting us, just inviting us to the game. That was incredibly kind of him. We got to hang out with him.
We sat next to him and his kids. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were awesome, and they were asking all the questions kids tend to ask at soccer game at Champions League soccer games with Liga MX Club, where they were trying to understand.
What's that word they yell whenever the goalkeeper kicks the ball?
Why do they keep yelling "culero" over and over?
Yeah.
What does that mean, Dad?
Well, it was so funny because you and I were talking, and I was like, the P word, puto, like it's not that bad of a word, and it doesn't necessarily mean. And I know we've gone back and forth on this podcast on the whole thing, because it does make some people uncomfortable, and you just don't want. We're not in a position in American soccer to make people uncomfortable. So, the way I look at it is very, very simple. It's like, don't yell it. Don't make it a big scene. But look, this is a Liga MX team. That's a part of their culture, and it's not exactly a homophobic slur. It gets used that way sometimes, but that's not what it means, and that's not the general tone of it. It's essentially a replacement for fucking. Like the way Americans would be like, "Yo, give me that fucking phone." They'd be like, "Dame el puto," a cell phone or whatever.
Yeah. But that's more specific to Mexican culture, because the word itself is in almost any other culture. It's not really used as a verb.
I mean, it is in Spain.
I mean, it's not used, or it's not used that way.
No, it is. It's used the way that I just explained it.
Okay. I'm not used to hearing it that way personally. That's why it doesn't really have that kind of effect on me. To me, the word itself just means bitch. I mean, it's not, and people say that word all the time. Kids learn that, when they're toddlers. So it's not that big a deal. But
yeah, like when you stub your toe, you yell "hijo de puto." Like that's a normal.
Yeah, well, you say "hijo de puta," not puto.
Yeah, but what I'm just using the word. I don't want to now have to explain the A versus, and now you have to say PUTX because God forbid. But
yeah, we have to give the right right designation.
The Latinx culture.
It's not gendered, okay, Alexis?
Yeah.
All right, get with it.
I agree. I'm the one who brought it up, not you.
No, and it is
in
what
the
it
end,
is.
what I'm trying to say is these kids were asking what that meant, and I was like, look, I can't explain it to you. And then they tried to guess what it was. And I was like, the dad was like, please stop trying to guess, you know? And then I said to Christian, I literally said the words. I was like, you know what, though? I mean, I'm actually kind of proud that they're not yelling culero, you know? And almost as if it was in the Pixar script, it just moments later, the whole stadium that's not a Red Bull fan just starts going, culero, culero. And I'm like, all right, well, we've reached the point where this is offensive. There's no hiding from it. I can't talk my way out of this. This is 100% offensive.
Well, it would be. I can't wait for the Pixar film Culero. That's going to be a good one.
They're going to go to 3 of them. Buzz Lightyear's involved.
So look, Red Bulls. I mean, what are you going to do? These guys are just. It's crazy. I mean, this is just. It seems like year after year, they find a new way to break their fans' hearts, and this seemed just like another one. And watching, just some of the stuff on social media, a lot of people complaining here, specifically about Jesse Marsh, feeling that this game was just tactically mismanaged. And watching the game live, we were talking to each other throughout the whole thing. What were we doing? We were just being like, what the hell is this? What are they doing?
What are they doing?
What is up with these long-ass throw-ins? What is up with constantly tossing the ball forward? We get that the team is probably physically a bit stronger than Chivas, but it's not like the Chivas players. You have to understand, this is a Liga MX club. This is CONCACAF. You're not going to just bully a Mexican club, and it's going to be like a cakewalk. And look, to their credit, Chivas, they held on. They played defensively. How many really, really great chances did they have? Maybe 2. That the Red Bulls had, maybe 2. Chivas had no interest in trying to score. I don't even think they had one real shot on goal. Maybe one. They didn't have that many shots. This game was just. Let's just not let them score, and they did what they came to do.
And it just seemed like, I mean, I get that the Red Bulls. It just seemed, you know what it was, and I know Red Bull fans are going to disagree with me, but it just seemed like it was a little bit overmanaged. It was just a little bit overthought. You know, why would you, if you're Jesse Marsh, why would you mute what your team does best? Why would you take away the skills that your team has? I mean, look, they pressed like hell. They pressed like crazy, which I know is a big part of their game. But, Route 1 soccer, I mean, taking BWP and making him, I guess, more of a number 10, bringing in Kaku and having him be almost a defensive midfielder to some degree because they were doing such a high press or a high line.
Well, also it was starting the game with Derek Etienne Jr. Up front, which was a bit surprising, but I think it was just a way to put that speed up front and
height,
kind of
height over BWP,
and hope that athletically you can just that Derek Etienne can just either outrun somebody or beat somebody, and who knows if he'll finish, but maybe something will happen when we get over there. But it seemed like the biggest issue was not really adapting to what Chivas was doing, and the most noticeable thing were the throw-ins, where almost every single throw-in, I want to say like 80% of them were long throws into the box, which is like, why are you playing this way? Or also when it doesn't work the first 15 times, why don't you try something else? It seemed like a bit stubborn of an approach, especially with a game that was that important. No real magic in the midfield. I don't know if the Red Bulls were concerned about getting beat there, and maybe they didn't think they could hold on to the ball as well as they weren't very confident about it. But nothing really going on in the midfield. Ball's getting tossed forward, and this ends up being the result.
It was gimmicky. It was gimmicky. It was like, oh, here's how we'll beat them. We're taller than them, and we'll play it over the air. That's not your game. And to be honest, Chivas didn't look to me like a team that could handle the onslaught of, them sort of trying to go more central. You neutered BWP, and the line with BWP is that he doesn't score in big games. This is going to go down as another piece of paper in that file, and I got to be honest, it was not his fault. The guy was getting no service, and he was in no position. The 2 or 3 times he had an opportunity to score, yeah, he fucked up, but he can't do it all himself.
Yeah. They're they're really even. There's no one specifically to blame. As far as the players, I just didn't think it's, especially in the first half, there really wasn't. How many passes did they really connect inside the box? There was that one in the first half between Tyler Adams and Danny Royer, and they had that cross that no one could get on the end of.
It looked like a tuna net. There was like 7 players inside the goal.
But more than anything, the thing that stands out is now Tyler Adams' mistake, giving up the ball in that first leg. It just looks, just like, man, that was the goal that you lose on. And you couldn't score one in both games against a team that wasn't good. I mean, Chivas was not good. They have a couple good players, and like most Liga MX teams, like they can hold on to the ball and they're clever and all that stuff, but attacking, there wasn't really anything. And watching the game, I'm like, this is not a team that's that good. And I think the Chivas fans at Rebel Arena were did that, like, whew, like we got away with one right there.
Yeah, I mean, we watched that game, from 5 rows up, and staring at it, it was an exciting match, and it seemed like it was mostly in the Red Bulls' half for the first, maybe 35 minutes. I could be wrong on that timing, but, there was no finishing. There was none whatsoever. They had 0 ideas. They had 0 creativity. I think the only player that I think can hang his head high is Rivas, because I'm not saying anything negative about a man whose shoulders are 95% of his body. That man.
Yeah, I don't think we've never gotten to see him that close. I think when he was with Orlando, I'm sure we saw him at Yankee Stadium, but playing with the Red Bulls, seeing him up close, I'm like, this dude is all shoulders. He is neck and shoulders.
He is first album 50 Cent. That's who that man is.
Yeah. So it's incredibly noticeable. But Rivas is Rivas, and when he comes into a game, you're not like, all right, here comes this guy, comes to dominate. He's only there to send balls into section 238 or whatever. He kicks it insanely high, and that's usually that's like his biggest flaw. But so this another year of disappointing results. Now Rebels can focus on the regular season, on US Open Cup, which is a tournament they usually do well in. But they have to feel frustrated. I was telling Nick at the beginning of the game, I'm just like, if this game ends 0-0, it's worse than if they lose 2-1, in my opinion. Where it's so deflating, like they couldn't score on these guys once, like that. You saw the players after the match was over, just on the ground, just absolutely exhausted. They gave it all. And
yeah, I mean, this is going to be a terrible way to end, this bit of a run that they had. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're a Red Bull fan, you probably don't take any solace in this whatsoever, and you probably don't even want us talking about this. But I think what you walk away from is saying, look, you looked and you made a name for yourself out there. You looked great out there. You had opportunities where you looked absolutely incredible. Your value, the name of your club, everything is up right now. You know what I mean? It's like early days of Bitcoin right now. Things are looking up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Don't look at it now. But what I'm trying to say is, for a while there, I mean, you have a higher profile now because of the way you played throughout this entire competition. It didn't end the way you wanted. It can't end that way for anyone except for one team. But, that aside, this one chapter of these 2 games, you're going to look back and say, the other team didn't win so much as we lost. And that's exactly what Rebel fans are going to be thinking. You got a dumb mistake by Tyler Adams, the future of your team, and that's something that's going to stick with him for a while. And then you've got this just completely lay down performance at home.
Yeah, but when you say lay down, do you mean like no? Do you mean like they tried their best?
Yeah, no, I meant lay down and got ravished. You know what I mean?
All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. That my favorite part was that when they turned the lights down low in the stadium and everything got very get very sensual.
Oh yeah.
You're a starting goalkeeper for the New York Red Bull.
Culero.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Rivas comes in shirtless.
So a bummer, just deflating, disappointing. Again, we were, I had tweeted out, made a joke about going to Red Bull Arena and sort of that issue that we were talking about in the first segment about do you support the league or do you support a club? You know, we're NYCFC fans. Should we be at Red Bull Arena and all this stuff? And I made a joke about we're going to go to Red Bull Arena, and I hope the Red Bull fans are nice to us as we're wearing full NYCFC kits in the supporter section. And some people took it as clearly a joke, which was my intention. And some people were like, "Hey man, that is not a good idea. You should not do such a thing in that environment. That is not cool."
Someone's like, that's like wearing a River, jersey to and sitting in the Boca stand. Okay, let's start off with most of the people that said these things aren't fans of ours. That specific person is, but a lot of people that said like, "Oh, go ahead and show your ignorance. So this isn't going to end well for you." One guy put "ban these people," which is hilarious. Do you mean Dominicans and Cuban Uruguayans? Because if so, I think if anything, you should allow more of these people in your stadium because you need the help, bruh. But people were like, "Oh, they're gonna show how dumb they are," or some people put like GIFs and stuff of bad idea. Like some people clearly got it and was like, "Yo, this is a dumb idea." But most people that I saw really took this seriously, and it's like, first of all, I know we say we're the gulliest, right? We're the gulliest podcast. We're not the gulliest hosts. Okay, I'm not walking in there just with knuckle dusters, just taking families out. Okay, we can't catch bids. I'm going to Miami tomorrow. I can't catch a bid.
We're reasonable human beings.
Yeah,
I hope that's not lost on people.
And also, there's a laughing emoji in the title of our name on Twitter. We're clearly trying to make you laugh. That's not what we would do.
Part of me enjoys that, not necessarily riling people up, because I don't necessarily get a thrill out of that. But
we all know you're a shock comic.
I'm a stool humping maniac on stage, guys.
He doesn't tell it how it is. He tells it how it could be.
All right, get used to the new Polanco.
If he wasn't such a prude.
No, it does. At the very least, I respect the fact that people are that passionate that it's like, "Yo, don't even joke about that, bro," because that's how serious I take this. Even though that's like kind of comical, there is a sense of like, there's a sense of pride that people don't want to be disrespected in that way, and because for their passion for their club and stuff like that. So it's cool. Like I respect that. I wasn't like upset or bothered by anyone.
Me neither. I just thought it was so silly that people didn't get that it was a joke. And the thing that bothered me most is it's people that don't follow us. Clearly someone saw the retweets and started going at it. Now, the one dude in particular was like, whatever. I forgot what he said. It was like, "ban these people." It was like, he's just one of those dudes that sometimes responds to us in a way where I'm like, I can't tell if you're a friend or a foe,
Yeah. Maybe he's into it. I don't know if he's a person that laughs at stuff. Hopefully he does. Who knows?
Like a very serious person.
But, I hope to make it clear that we are making jokes and also try to be good people. I think that's the important part. But some people are not into it, then they're not into it. Like, who cares? So
we've tried showing it.
So So we know the final, TFC against Chivas. TFC win. They win. We didn't get to see their game, but we saw the highlights. They got to. This game ended up 1-1. But for the majority of the match, Toronto was up. Pretty dominant.
They got the away goal. I mean, it was going to take a lot for Club America to come back. But, dude, I mean, this is a huge moment in American soccer history. And, fine, North American soccer history, I guess, because they're a Canadian club. But,
sure.
To go down to Azteca and to basically have a lead for the majority of it. I know they walked out with a draw, but, to essentially cinch or clinch that entire two-leg, series at Azteca, to be the first one to score and to basically have it where, like, yo, you're the better team in the Azteca. This is a big deal.
Yeah. Look, throughout the like probably the second half of last season in Major League Soccer and the beginning of this tournament, everyone sort of thought, given that the Major League Soccer teams were basically in their preseason, but Toronto, outside of like probably the first leg of the Colorado game, they've looked great. I mean, that game was an outlier given that it was like 14 degrees and all that stuff. But Toronto's looked good the entire time, and they deserve to be where they are. Not really in any of the matches, maybe against Tigres, that was like sort of the scariest one or the most intimidating for them. But outside of that, they've been pretty good. They've gotten it done when they needed to get it done. So I think they win this easily. I can't imagine them. They're playing one of the worst teams in Liga MX, the Major League Soccer champions. Done deal, right? That's it. And
Gotta
Club, yeah, I think it's done. We'll see. Anything can happen. We saw what happened with Roma and Barcelona. So you gotta play the 180 minutes to see, to get the actual result.
Which, by the way, I don't know if this is real since you brought up Barcelona and Roma. I saw on Twitter that a Brazilian betting site, a gentleman bid, I believe, $1,000. He was trying to bid on Barcelona, but he mistakenly picked Roma, and he tried to reach the website to cancel the bet, and they wouldn't allow him to cancel. So because he didn't cancel, because Roma won, he walked away with over $54,000 from that $1,000 bet.
Oh, that's amazing.
I don't know if that's true, but I hope it's true. And also, I hope there's a Chivas fan out there who bid against this team, but instead walks away with, I don't know, what, 25 pesos? I don't know what it would be. What's the CONCACAF equivalent? I don't know.
Still good money. Still good money.
That's guap, baby.
So all right. So that's it. This is it. We know what the final is going to be. I don't know exactly when the games are going to be played. We'll look that up later. It's going to be exciting. So, but we're going to end the show. We already recorded the ending of the show prior to this. So we'll just end this right now.
Wait, before we do end it.
Oh.
Yeah. If you would love for us, if you want us to go to the CCL finals, let us know. Maybe we'll set up like a little, I don't know, GoFundMe or something, or maybe we'll do a giveaway of some sort to help us get there. I don't know. Maybe it sounds like it could be fun.
A little Cooligans fundraiser?
Yeah, finally one. We'll go to Toronto when it's not freezing. And maybe we'll go to little Guadalajara, man. Do a couple of tacos.
Okay. All right. I like the way you said tacos. It was like you added a little spice to it. Tacos?
I mean, that's what I do. And hopefully that's what they do, because you know me. Love to blow out my asshole the next morning. Oh, boy.
Yeah, if there's one thing we know about Alexis Guerreros, it is that. It's really your calling card. It's what you leave in every hotel.
It was originally going to be our logo, but you thought it was a bit much. So
I was like, can we go with Plan B?
Yeah. How about soccer ball and pizza, not soccer ball, and what looks like a blown out asshole? I'm like, but I eat a lot of spicy foods, man.
Okay, so that's it. So now this is officially the end of this CCL segment.
Everyone wishes we would have ended before.
All right, everybody. So that's the end of the show. We did it again.
Thank you to Daniel Got Hits for coming through the show. Thank you to our new sponsors. Make sure you go out and, you get yourself seats to an event. And for later on that night, you get yourself some dick pills, okay?
That's all you need?
That's all you need. And we're giving you a discount on both.
So we're looking out for you.
We're helping you get it in for cheap.
All right, guys. Thank you again for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the show, like on iTunes, on YouTube.
5 stars.
Leave a review, please. We've been getting some really, really great reviews from a lot of new listeners, so thank you so much for doing that. If you're listening to this right now, just right there, you're on your phone.
Yeah.
Just do it. It's the
and
right
people who don't have iTunes keep asking us, how can I leave a review? You can download iTunes. If not,
no. You can leave a review on Stitcher. I just looked this up.
Yeah, you can leave the review on Stitcher, or you can leave the review on Google Play. You can do that as well.
I feel like Google Play doesn't do reviews, but I could be wrong.
Leave a review wherever you listen to our podcast.
All right,
Thank you so much.
That is the end of the show. My name is Christian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Guerreros, and together, what are we?
The Cooligans!